or a tram, just get there, all right?
So I'm going to obviously divulge that I am a massive fan. So yeah, so me and my partner, we come to a lot of the games.
Oh,
and
nice.
Went to Madrid a couple of weeks ago as
did
well.
you?
Yeah, it was buzzing, yeah. Yeah, it was brilliant.
That was an hard one.
yeah, it was tough, it was good, really good.
We got the win though, that's the main thing.
Absolutely. So you excited for first Champions League game at Old Trafford?
Yeah, no, it'd be good, yeah. Obviously welcome Mary back, which would be nice.
That'll be fun.
And I've not scored at Old Trafford yet, so...
Yeah. When you score at Old Trafford, you'll have to do like a little toot-toot celebration, I think.
All right, I'll do that.
Yeah, nice. So how would you like to enter your chariot? There we go.
Spaceship.
If you like.
What the heck? I never thought I'd be driving a tram. Yeah. Bucket list.
It is bucket list.
Bucket list.
Do you know what? It's a lot of people's bucket list.
To drive a tram.
Yeah, to have a little go on a tram. So that big black button. Yep, big switch. Turn it towards me. Go.
Whoa!
There you go. Turned it on.
I'm on. Have you got a beep?
We have. If you would like to have a go.
Yeah.
Right. So if you press on this one, that pedal. So that's your street whistle. Yeah, that's your perfect Old Trafford celebration that for next week. And if you press that one, your seat's deeper. So that's your segregated horn. Yeah. So this one's
that one.
Yeah, this one's a bit chill for the being in city centre. Because it's quite loud.
Yeah.
And the other one's for like when you're segregated. So if there's no roads or city centre's called street running, but when you're out on the main line, so up on the Old Trafford line, if you're going to the match, that's called segregated, and that's when we use that one. You can do a PA if you want.
PA?
Yeah.
What's that?
So you could say, you know, like if you're on an aeroplane and you go, "This is your captain speaking." We're at 25,000 feet.
Do I call myself a captain?
You
or
could
what?
if you want. You can call yourself whatever
your
you want.
driver. Yeah. Stop filming me.
When we set off, we give it a little toot of the street whistle so people know we're moving. And then, are you ready? Yeah, that's the street whistle. Yeah. There we go. So push it down, and then take a little, nudge it forward, and then that's it. Right. So your speed limit is 5 miles an hour.
Whoa, that's nothing.
Yeah, and it's just good. So as you get into 5, if you nudge it back into coast. That's it. Nudge it back, and then nudge it back into, keep it down, and then nudge it back into brake. You'll see that it slows it down a little bit. And you might find that you have to nudge between them. So you might go a little bit forward just to try and maintain your 5. That's really good. I love actually.
Well, what can I say?
Yeah. So what we'll do, we'll aim for that walkway there. So
this one here?
Yeah, you see the,
right, I can see,
the yellow one. So to get a little bit closer, pop it into that middle section, yeah, and just let it roll down. And then as we're getting a bit closer to the walkway, it'll brake quite well. Pop it into brake now. There we go, and a tiny bit more. Look at that.
What?
Perfect. Look at that. Bang on.
Light work.
If you have a look, you couldn't be any closer to that walkway.
What can I say?
Perfect. Natural.
Natural.
Yeah, I'm sure you won't be short of options when you retire and everything, but I think this could be a perfect.
Yeah, I think this is a. My arm is pretty sore though off holding that thing down.
But you know, great start to your Metrolink career. I think.
Well, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the first one ticked off. Look at that.
You couldn't have been any better. Look at that. Perfect.
Isn't it funny though, because when you're actually sat in there, you think that it's
you think you're much
way
closer,
more
don't
forward.
you? Yeah. So this is the control room. So when you go in, you're going to see the whole network.
Hiya, you right?
Hello.
Oh, this is a bit technical for me.
This is Ella.
Hiya, you
if
right?
You didn't know.
Come in, we'll go.
And just sort of, this is what we do. So if you have any issues on the network, the first one there, ASB on the platform suite.
God, as if you've got about 6 screens, you've got to look at all of these every day.
Yeah.
I've got a headache.
If you want to just stick your finger in the air when you're finished, and I'll finish the recording. Tell me when you're ready.
Ready. This is the Metrolink control room. Images are being captured on CCTV. Got the finger. Sorry. I can't laugh at the end of it, can I?
So if you, say for instance, you were sat in this seat, you want to welcome the customers to Etihad, what would you say in that? If you want to type it in.
I've got one. Welcome to the really bad side of Manchester, the blue side. Enjoy. Go Got to say that, haven't I? Wharfside, is that what it's called, yeah?
Yeah. Are you okay?
Yeah. Hi, this is Ella Toon from Manchester United. Heading to the Champions League match against PSG at Old Trafford. Remember to get off at either Wharfside or Old Trafford. Use contactless tap and go for easier, speedier travel. Grab your family and friends and we'll see you there. No, this is the one.
Yeah. This is the one you want to show them.
Welcome to Old Trafford, the perfect side of Manchester and the best stadium in the world.
So, this is Old Trafford.
Nice.
It's where all you adoring fans are going to get off.
I remember the first time I went, I was actually a United player and we went on the pitch at half time.
Oh, yeah.
And we played, I think it was United against Bolton. And we got to go on the pitch at half time and play five-a-side, and I'll just never forget coming off it, being buzzing and then keeping a piece of grass off my boots until it died like a week later. But I was just like, this is amazing. Like, I love Manchester United so much. Yeah. Loved the players, loved everything about it, and then got to play on it at such a young age. It was like, my cousin's granddad on my other side, he's a big red, and I remember going with him a few times, and we used to collect the little badges, from outside the stadium, and he used to have hundreds of them. I've probably still got them somewhere. It's amazing how many people come and watch, and like how many people just love football and love watching their team. Our fans, families, students, whoever it is, you know, there's public transport, you can get to the game. It's going to be an amazing occasion for us, as it's our first Champions League game at Old Trafford. So yeah, we want to put on a massive performance. We want as many people as we can in the stadium, and yeah, hopefully we can have a good night together. I've learnt that I'm a natural tram driver.
Absolutely.
I know how to use all the gadgets. It's not as scary as it seems, but maybe I've just learnt the basics. Yeah. But yeah, I've learnt, get the tram to our game on Wednesday against PSG.
Or a bus.
Or a bus or a tram, just get there, all right?
Starts the Manchester United attack again. Ziggiotti back to Toon. Toon on the right-hand side feeds this through to Jess Park. Jess Park's cross comes all the way through the penalty area. Smash goalers! Oh, what a finish that is! Hinata Miyazawa with a left foot exocet to give Manchester United the lead. It is an incredible finish from Hinata Miyazawa. Liverpool 0, Manchester United 1.
And that is a great cross by Jess Park to pick out Miyazawa there, and she has smashed it into the top corner. What a brilliant goal and what a brilliant start by United.
She has got to be fully 30 yards out here. Sits up perfectly for her, right on the edge of the D. Oh, and it's in off the inside of the post as well, makes it look even better, Jess. With pressure. That's given away though, and now it's potentially a 2-on-3 situation. Jess Park arriving at the back post as well. Slid through, Elizabeth Turlin for the hat-trick! Manchester United have 3 on the night. They lead 3-1 on aggregate, and a hat-trick for Elizabeth Turlin.
Well done, Terry. What a finish. Really, really good play from United again. Melvine jumping forward, pressing, winning the ball back, playing it through. Great finish from Terry. Hat-trick hero. Go on, the girl. Scored in 3 different ways tonight. Head, left and right. I wonder how many people who score a hat-trick can say that.
Perfect hat-trick.
Yeah.
Left foot, right foot, head.
So what was it like when you first turned up, and as someone who's been here before, grew up here, and you put the kit back on, did that feel a bit special?
Yeah, that was a bit surreal. You know, coming in, I think, driving up the Farmers Lane, which is the back route into Carrington, and all those little things, and then bumping into people you hadn't seen in a long time, putting the kit on, and yeah, going out my first session, I was a little bit nervous as well, but also at the same time so excited. Yeah. So there was so many different emotions probably going around at that time that just kind of having to process it all, but the overriding one was like just buzzing.
We needed new energy, new ideas to push us forward, and I think, you know, like I say, the pressure is a privilege. To try and get Man United back to where it was many years ago is something that I just feel extremely lucky. And we've got to deliver now. You know, we can't just keep talking about it. It's going to be people have to be patient, but we are going in the right direction, I feel. And, you know, at the heart of it is our people. You know, it's really important that we sort of, I have a saying, feel like a family, perform like a team. And if we can feel like a family and create this atmosphere where we are able to have honest conversations, we're able to give feedback, we're able to have new ideas, no one gets offended. This is the environment that we're trying to create.
Welcome to Centro Deportivo Alcalá de Henares, tonight's stage, as we get ready to face Atletico Madrid in tonight's Champions League tie.
Then jog it through, jog it back. Good, good, jog it all the way back in. Good, skip it out again at halfway. Get a good rotation, shoulders against hips. 2, 3.
My favourite colour is red. I would say light blue. My favourite colour is also red, obviously.
She would definitely do it.
Okay, I know.
Hey! Well, I have to finish my walk. This is my catwalk. Guys. Thanks, guys. You like them? Give me a high five. Woo!
Hello everyone, welcome to Mark and Julia's press conference ahead of our game tomorrow with Atletico.
Yeah, look, we're excited. So we're looking forward to playing Atleti. Fantastic team, fantastic club. So we're really looking forward to it. We know how good we are. We believe in ourselves, but we also know we're facing a really tough challenge. So tomorrow night will be good for us, and everybody is fit and ready to go.
Yeah, I just told them to enjoy it. Of course, it's a big thing to be in the Champions League, but just try to see it as a normal game. And we always want to go out there and perform our best and show up for the fans and everything. So just try to see it as a normal game and enjoy the moment of playing different teams.
So Mark, we've arrived in Madrid.
Yeah.
You must be extremely excited for this one.
Very much so. We're playing a top team at their home venue, and I'm looking forward to how the players take on another European night. We were excellent our first one against Valerenga, so I'm really looking forward to how we adapt, how we evolve. Can we take our game to the opponent, who we have a lot of respect for, but also we want to try and win the game. You know, it'd be perfect to start this campaign with 2 wins against 2, very difficult opponents.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Right.
glasses. Mira, like, mira, ya, pues, ya. Mira, ya, pues.
como bien dices, a pensar en el domingo, importante cerrar este primer parón de la temporada.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
You all ready?
Ready when you are.
Okay, cool. You ready?
I'm ready.
Coming in 3, 2.
So Frida, congratulations, a Champions League win, a debut goal and a winning goal as well. How are you feeling?
No, it feels great. I'm super happy with the win today, especially after everything that happened throughout the game. So yeah, I'm happy with those 3 points.
Surely you've got to respect that. Not I'm looking just
For you personally, you had a pretty great game. You've got yourself a little trophy there, player of the match too. How does it feel to receive that award?
No, of course, good. I was surprised. Felt like, yeah, all we did was just running today. So, but yeah, it's always good to be get this, but yeah, I'm really proud of the team.
I'm happy.
Coming in 3, 2. What a great win that was, Mark. It had lots of ups and downs in that game, but it must feel even sweeter to walk away with a victory.
For sure. There are games where you play beautiful football, and there are games where you fight and you show the other side of the game and the quality that you have as a team. Qualities are easy to measure when you're scoring lots and lots of goals, but to fight when everything's against you, and to do that with the quality and spirit that this team has shown tonight, just shows what we're building. Like, I'm incredibly proud of them. Really am. Like, you know, we use words, but incredibly proud is really fitting in this moment. So congratulations to every player, every member of staff. You know, it's Tooney's 200. Unfortunately, I had to take her off for tactical reasons, but you know, to even celebrate Frido's first goal, it's really important within the midst of the storyline. So I'm really proud, and they can go off international. We've barring the first leg of the brand game an unbeaten start to the season, which is, I mean, if you said that to me, I'd have bitten your hand off. So congratulations to everybody, and I hope they come back safe from international.
There are 3 things I feel that Manchester United have to do, or at least 2 they have to do and 1 they should try and do. 1 is that we have to have the best stadium in the world. 2 is that we have to have the best training ground in the world. And 3 is that we have to win. The third one, actually, I'm patient on. I'm a Manchester United fan. Things move in cycles. You can't always win. But if number 1 and 2 are right, and if you have the right people in the club, you've got a great chance of number 3 happening.
Been supporting since 2019 when I went to the derby at the Etihad. When I first started, I'd never chant and I was just sat there watching the match, but now I think I couldn't imagine sitting there and just watching the match in silence. I've got to stand and I've got to chant because that's who I've become at the matches.
She's unique. She's definitely one of her own. I think if you come to Lee and don't know Isabel, then there's something wrong, because I think everyone knows her.
When I'm in work in my cafe, people recognise me and say, "Oh, I've seen you at Lee." And I'm kind of like, wow, didn't expect it. But they just recognise me for me standing and chanting, and they're like, I recognise that girl.
United are back in possession, midway inside the London City half. This is Maya Letitia forward to Jess Park, back to Letitia. Right-footed, clips one into the path of Jade Riviere. Lovely ball, lovely touch. This needs to be a good cross. Oh, it's fired in. That is absolutely sensational from Jade Riviere. The ball to her is brilliant. The touch is fantastic, but the finish is absolutely incredible. And the young Canadian has doubled Manchester United's advantage. It's 2-0 to the Reds.
It's a fantastic finish, and I don't think she could quite believe it when it went in and hit the back of the net. It's a brilliant strike, and she holds the badge up to the fans that are there supporting the team. But she's been so high up, whether it's a shot, whether it's a cross, it's a brilliant finish.
League at Old Trafford, there's nothing quite like it.
It's what you dreamed of as a kid growing up, to play these type of games.
To walk out at Old Trafford in the Champions League, it's always been a dream of mine. There's a lot of history in this club in Champions League.
To now have this finalised and have it be at Old Trafford with all of our supporters backing us.
We want everybody to play their part.
PSG got a few familiar faces playing for them, so it'll be a very interesting game.
Now is the time for us to take our stage.
For me.
For me.
For me. For me.
For me.
For them.
It's a very, very big evening here at Hotel Football, but more importantly, just across the road at Old Trafford, where Manchester United take on Paris Saint-Germain in their third Champions League group phase game. Really exciting for Manchester United's women to be taken on PSG, the side that knocked them out in the qualifying stages in 2023-2024, and they get to do it at the big Old Trafford Stadium just behind my left shoulder. We're here at Hotel Football, namely because, well, we're not allowed in there due to various rights regulations that it's boring to go into. But essentially, we're with you over the course of this whole evening. And when I say we, I mean I've got a proper star-studded lineup alongside me. Two people that know more about Manchester United than almost anybody else. Former Manchester United and current Republic of Ireland defender Aoife Mannions with us. Hello, Aoife, how are you? And a former Manchester United coaching Glenn Harris. Hello, how are you? This is really exciting. I'll start with you, Aoife. Manchester United at Old Trafford against PSG, an opportunity to put things right after 23-24 and make it 3 wins in a row in this competition.
I mean, the girls have started so well in this competition, and it really feels like a full circle moment tonight. To think 2 years ago it was PSG that undone United trying to get into the Champions League stages, and to see them tonight go out, I'm so rooting for them. I think that United are the team to beat tonight. PSG are a changed team, but they're awkward, they're direct, and they still have a lot of massive big name characters. So I think it's going to be a brilliant matchup. All of the girls at training today up at Newcastle were talking about it. I think a lot of people will be zooming in, so let's see.
Yeah, look, Champions League is always a big night, isn't it? But to get it here at Old Trafford as well, it makes it even more special for everybody involved, I think, Glenn.
Yeah, I mean, you walk into the hotel here and you sort of pass in the fans and that, and the rain's coming down as well, which is typical Manchester weather, isn't it? But it's going to be a great atmosphere from a great occasion that they'll all want to show what they can actually do. And I think, I agree with that. I think this is the one where they're going to pull out the big stops tonight.
We are going to talk about this in the build-up to kick-off, which is underway at 8 o'clock. Game gets underway at 8 o'clock. So we'll bring you the team news, various bits and pieces very shortly, but there's a couple of little bits of housekeeping that are really, really important. If you want to get involved tonight, we want you involved, but the only way that you can get involved is to be subscribed to the Manchester United Women's YouTube channel. Once you're subscribed, you'll be able to leave your comments, and those comments are really important, actually. We found those over the first couple of watch-alongs that we've done, Aoife. It's been really good to have your input into the game as it's going on. We're designed here on this watch-along to be like your companion whilst you're watching the game. Even easier for you to watch the game whilst you're watching us tonight because it's on the BBC. So a real opportunity for you to sort of bring us along with you. We'll try and give you some insights, some analysis, some bits and pieces that maybe, because we're Manchester United specialists, we can bring you that maybe the BBC can't. So stick with us, make sure you subscribe and get involved in the comments section. Whilst you're there, just click on the bell, and that means that you'll never miss an upload to the Manchester United Women's YouTube channel, and there's loads of stuff that goes on all the way through the week. Really, really good. Right, that's the housekeeping done. I think worth just having a little bit of a conversation just before we go to Zara about what this Manchester United side needs to do to get themselves into the game tonight against the PSG side that will be really, really tricky. So just really briefly, what do you think the key features of United's game need to be tonight, Aoife?
I think the key features that Mark is going to be asking the girls to do, first and foremost, is to bring a level of energy intensity that matches and exceeds PSG. So I think he'll say, earn the right to play, and then on top of that then, bring all of the quality that we know that the players have. And I think if they can do those two things, building on the league season that they're having and previous games in the Champions League, I think they'll be more than able to get the 3 points tonight.
Any advance on that, Glenn?
Yeah, and I agree with what Ethan said. The energy is key. Start the game well. Got to start the game well. I think one of the key things is that obviously we've not touched on the team yet, but looking at the selection, it's getting that holding pair in front of the back two right, which then will hopefully allow the fullbacks to get forward as well. And I think that will be key, because Riviera and Sandberg going forward are an absolute threat. And I think that to me is the key, mixed in with that dynamic start that I think is really important.
Right, let's find out the personnel then. Glenn's already touched on it. Let's bring you the team news. Here's Noah.
Thanks, guys. So we are gearing up for an historic night here at the Theatre of Dreams. And the big news is in that Fallon Tallis-Joyce is out of this Champions League clash against PSG. So let's start with Manchester United's starting lineup. So with Fallon's absence, it means a great opportunity for Saf Middleton-Patel between the sticks. Onto our back line, we have Anna Sandberg in action on the left and Jade Riviere on the right. For our duo centrally, we have captain Maya Letitia with Gabby George. In the middle, we'll have the three of Hinata Miyazawa, Simi Awujo and Giulia Ziggiotti. And our front three will consist of Jess Park and Fridolina Rolfo, either side of Melvine Mallard. On to our opposition PSG, who will be in a 4-3-2-1 formation. Starting in net for our opponents is a very familiar face. Of course, it's Mary Earps. Then in a back four, we have Olga Carmona, Gria Mbokbati, Alyssa De Almeida and Isabella Chagas. The middle three will be Captain Sakina Kachawi and Rashida Ajibadi, either side of Jennifer Echegini. In a front two will be Anais Evelini alongside former Red Jackie Gronin. And up front will sit Romy Loxer. So that is your starting lineups for today's game. Hopefully it'll be a great night for the Reds. Back to you guys.
So, the big piece of team news, and I think it kind of caught us all by surprise. Don't think anybody was expecting it, and that's no place for Fallon Tallis-Joyce. She's picked up a knock, so it's Safia Middleton-Patel that gets the nod. You've played with her, you've been around and sort of coached while Saf's been around. It's a massive deal for her. What an incredible night to be making your Champions League debut at Old Trafford against PSG for United.
It's a massive, massive call-up for her. I mean, the team have been doing so well under Fowl, so I think that fans will look in and think that's a big question mark, but as someone who's played and trained with her, I know the quality that she can bring in training. She's really, really good with the feet and she can pull out some really good saves. I'm delighted that she did get some match minutes at the Euros in the summer, because it's that sort of big game energy and experience that is going to put her in good stead. So she's not just a number two that has never played at a Euros or anything. She has actually had some experience. So go on, Saf, like, prove to everyone why you deserve this opportunity and set the team up on a good stead tonight.
Glenn, that's exactly what you said to me, wasn't it, about having big game experience?
Yeah, I think that's why she's got the nod, the big game experience. She's got that. She's played for Wales in the Euros, got a couple of appearances there. Did really, really well in the Euros as well, you know. She didn't let Wales down at all and did well for herself. I think the other thing, it's the normal thing, isn't it? Somebody's misfortune is somebody else's opportunity, and she'll have been biting at the bit. Nobody likes to sit on the bench, so it's a great opportunity for her to go and showcase herself. And what better place, as you said, than in the Champions League at Old Trafford against PSG? Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely massive. We've already had a load of comments on the YouTube channel. Huge game for Safia. She gets her Champions League debut at Old Trafford, says Sporty McSportface, which might be the best name of the night already. Fallon Tallis-Joyce is a big miss tonight. Fingers crossed that Saf has a great game. Lian Jar Kim says, exciting for Safia, although Fallon is amazing. And DJ Darkest Night says, I've followed our women from the first beginnings. We've come a long way, and I'm so proud. I think everybody desperately wanting Safia to have a really good game tonight. Hopefully she does exactly that. The other bits of team news in there that maybe caught us by surprise: no Ella Toon, no Elizabeth Turland, instead deciding that Simia Wujo plays in the 10, Melvin Mallard's going to play up front, and Gabby George is going to play centre-half. So we'll start with Gabby George, considering it's a position that you have sort of played in and alongside at centre-back. It's a position that Gabby has played during her career, even though we probably know her better for playing at full-back. What does she bring replacing Dominique Janssen tonight?
Gabby George is a very, very good player, and she's not really played at centre-back as much as I know her from over the years. So it's funny that you would say you see her as more of a left-back, but going back through the years, certainly with the England youth teams, I'd see her more as a centre-back. And she also has that premium that not many left-sided centre-halves have, is that she's actually left-footed. So expect some of her distribution and her passes to be really on point in a way that it's really difficult when you're right-footed. That said, Dom can obviously do that and have that passing range. So I'm really pleased for Gabby. I think she needs to bring a level of confidence that getting some minutes in Sunday's game will definitely give her starting, getting a solid chunk of minutes in, and something for her to build on. And I will say, when she came on, when Dom got sent off against Atletico away a few games ago, she did not put a foot wrong. So we need that again from her, and I know that she'll be waiting to take this opportunity. Yeah,
Dominique Janssen obviously missing because of a controversial sending off against Athletic, and we're all nodding because we all think it was controversial, and probably, you know, the injury to the player in question maybe clouds the judgment of the officials, and that's the reason that we don't have Dominique Janssen playing for Manchester United this evening. How important is it for somebody like Gabby George, even with all of her experience, to have a player like Maya Letitia alongside her?
Yeah, I mean, that's been the foundation, hasn't it, been this season? The defence has been rock solid. It's not really changed. You know, the back four has been consistent. Foul's been in there. So there's two elements that have actually moved out of the back four now, or back five as such, really. So it's going to be key that Maya talks to Gabby. Yeah, I know Gabby's experienced, but she'll need to actually bring her back in, and also to make sure they support the keeper as well. So there's two big key positions there that have altered, when really not a lot has altered this season for the back five for United. So it's going to be key that they actually settle in very early. And as Aoife said, I watched Gabby play centre back for England. I watched her under 19s. I think probably played alongside you at 19s, I think, didn't she? And also for Everton. I think that's where she made most of her appearances for Everton. So it's not a new position for her. And she's strong. She knows the game. So I think she'll fit in seamlessly.
Yeah, really, really good. We're going to talk about Simia Wujo in just a minute, but I don't know whether you spotted this on the Manchester United social media channels over the last couple of days. There was a lovely little feature where things may have been overheard at the Progress with Unity Stadium. I'm not going to say any more. I'm going to let you watch this.
And you're at Old Trafford on Wednesday?
I'm not, because the flight's Benidorm tomorrow morning.
Beautiful.
We're doing rookie numbers.
Beautiful.
She plays in the field, she's like a human shield. We've got Lisa Haslam.
Oh, come on, Jess. Come on. Oh. She's one of my favourites now, Jess Park.
Look at Bongo. You went out with the dog walkers.
I was going to do that job.
You were going to do that job? As a footballer, Maren?
Yeah, but taking dogs for a walk. My free time.
What about PSG? What's your score predictions there?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Don't know. I'll have to get a sense of it on the day. Yeah.
But what about with Mary, though? It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Mary at Old Trafford on the other side.
You're going to come back out and that's going to be soaking.
On a slide tackles.
Yeah.
Can you say Mallard?
Mallard.
Can you say Toon?
Toon.
Can you say Letitia?
Letitia.
That's right. She's our captain, isn't she?
Yeah.
Hey, have you seen that Letitia's brother's been called on to England?
I was just saying that.
Before, yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
They're like the Jameses of the North.
Are they from the North?
Are they
not? From like Hazeltine or something?
Where?
Oh, a ball! That was a ball! Shoot
Oh, that's... Go on, Lee! Ah!
Nice ballon. I really want my Rice Krispies.
United are the team for me.
With a knick-knack, paddy-whack, give the dog a bone. Why don't City go home? You sing it.
Unbelievably cute. I couldn't cope. It was absolutely brilliant watching that, and just goes to show the power of these women's games at the Progress with Unity Stadium, because they're so accessible and it's such a lovely environment, and you can get so close, and the players are all brilliant after the game as well. They spend so long coming round and signing autographs and interacting with fans. It's a really, really lovely experience. If you would like to get involved on the watch along this evening, you need to be subscribed to the Manchester United Women's YouTube channel. Make sure you've hit the subscribe button. Whilst you're pressing subscribe, you might as well click the bell icon too to make sure you're notified every time a video is updated. The people that have already subscribed have been dropping messages. Jorge Oliver Valenzuela, what a name that is. Jess Park Magic is coming. Don Dada says, let's go girls, we believe. And Good Vibes John says, let's go. Come on ladies, take that W. Everybody desperate for this to be a really, really important evening. Another player that's going to have a really big impact is going to be Simi Awujo, who maybe hasn't had all that much opportunity this season, but in Portugal, in that small-sided competition that happened at the end of last season, walked out with like the player of the tournament, didn't she? You had a lovely time over in Portugal, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I did. We all did. We had a lovely time in Portugal. Going back to Simi, you're right, she's not featured on the pitch as much as she would have wanted to, but in that Sevens tournament in Portugal, she was the standout player and she won the young player of the tournament. And I think what she brings is a level of physicality and energy, and that probably even does her a disservice because she had so much quality on the ball in Portugal, and I think that Mark will really want her to lean into that tonight and really match PSG's physicality. So this is a massive opportunity for her, and I hope that she takes it.
I know one person will be very happy that she's playing tonight, and that's my daughter-in-law, Casey Stone. She's desperate for her to get minutes in the bank, and she'll be looking at this avidly tonight. And obviously, she's keen for her to get minutes so she can develop for the Canadian national team.
Yeah, I think it's important as well, isn't it? I tell you what we haven't spoken about, and that is, well, that person on your screen right now, and that's the return of Mary Earps to Old Trafford, also Jackie Grunin. So we'll just sort of lump them both in together. We'll start with Mary, who was such a fantastic servant for this football club and such an important player for such a long period of time. I know that this last couple of weeks has not been easy if you're Mary Earps, but tonight she gets to let the football do the talking, I guess, Aoife.
Mary is a legend of the game, and I think she's she's become a superstar, really. She's one of the few women's players that's really transcended women's football. And for her, I know something that really matters to her is her legacy and her being herself, showing everyone how hard she's working. And she was a massive part of the United team when it won the FA Cup, and really as they were like working their way into trying to break into that top three at the time. And so thanks to her efforts, her leadership on and off the pitch, I feel like United made a massive step while she was at the club. So I think that true United fans, and certainly her teammates, will really root for her and appreciate her service and what she did for the club, because Mary is someone, she gives it 100% of the time, and you need those characters that are really ambitious to push things forward. And if that sometimes divides opinion, then you're always going to have that in professional football.
Yeah, I mean, Mary, what can I say? I mean, I remember Wilco and we were out in France for the World Cup, and we found out that she was pregnant and we needed a goalkeeper, and Casey was on to us and sort of said, we need to get Mary Earps, and Mary was out with the England squad, and we were sort of trying sneaky beaky to get hold of Mary and talk to her, and Wilco managed to get hold of her in the front, I think it was down in Nice or whatever, and that was the start of it. And to be fair, I think a lot of credit goes to the goalkeeping union that were together there with Wilco that actually drove the standards up of goalkeeping. You know, Mary has actually driven the standards up of goalkeeping in the women's game. I hope she doesn't have too good a game tonight. You know, that's from a United perspective.
I'm going to go one step further. I hope she has a howler. An absolute stinker at Manchester United with 4-0.
I'm with you, Liam. I'm with you, Liam. But again, it'll be interesting what reception she gets. As Aoife says, she's a legend at United. To me, she should be appreciated and accepted and applauded and respected for that. It'll be interesting to see what the fans actually do. Sorry, just going to say on Jackie. I mean, Jackie, I love her to death. You know, she was absolutely brilliant for us in our first season in the Super League. Always remember our first game in the Super League at the Etihad against City, when Caroline Weir had scored an absolute worldie, and Jackie had absolutely run her socks off, been absolutely brilliant. Went through one-on-one with the keeper right there. I think it was the 89th minute. Slipped the ball and it just caught the post and went out, and it would have topped her night off, because she didn't score for a long time for United. It was a long time before she actually scored for United, but that day she was immense, and to be fair to her, she was immense in every game that she played for United, I thought.
Yeah, a really technically gifted footballer, and another one that we could do with having a bit of a shocker tonight would be absolutely wonderful. Just to let you know, a little bit earlier on, Arsenal were leading Bayern by 2-0 away in Munich in the Champions League. They were 2-0 up through Fox and Caldente in 23 minutes. They lost the game 3-2, conceded twice in the space of 6 minutes. Harder and Viggersdottir basically giving Bayern Munich the win. That's a bit of a shock, especially when you're leading by 2-0. Maybe even helps Manchester United out along the way as well. Now, having Aoife here is always absolutely fantastic, but we're not the only ones that love her. Take a little look at this.
Okay, can I just say ex-player, bring back Aoife, because she is so funny. I love her. Yeah. Oh my gosh, she is the best person ever. Yeah, I miss Aoife a lot. Retired.
Really
There's
funny,
so
the
many
sound effects of thinking
There's
faces.
so many amazing players that have retired now.
You mentioned about Aoife there too, because Aoife's going to be on the Watchalong.
Is she?
Oh, nice. She's been doing such a good job with that.
Just watch that.
Honestly, Aoife's been amazing at the Watchalong too. Everyone's been loving it.
Really?
I've just been doing it, yeah.
To be fair, a lot of my family, even if she's on comms and that, they always say about Aoife being on the comms, how good she is. Big up Aoife. Yeah. What a woman.
Sending loads of love to Aoife.
Yeah.
How much sweeter does it feel when it's at Old Trafford and there's just a crowd of people there?
Yeah, it's amazing. The actual roar in the crowd is definitely thrilling. It's just every single time at Old Trafford we just have such a great time.
Yeah, agree. Just walking out even from the corner, I feel like just being in such a historic stadium as well. You know, there's been so many amazing games that have happened there before, obviously on the men's side, and yeah, hopefully that we can kind of bring our energy to the stadium and kind of show the fans how much it means to us to play Champions League at Old Trafford as well.
Isn't that lovely?
Oh, so nice. I miss this group of girls so much. They're such a together team, and I'll pay you later, Maya, for saying that, so thank you very much. No, they're lovely, and it's really unusual to get a group of girls that are really together but then also very ambitious. Sometimes it can be one or the other. So it's nice, and it's such a pleasure to get to be involved with things like this, because I still get to feel like I'm involved and I've still got that touch point with the team, so thanks for showing that.
No, it's an absolute pleasure and absolutely deserved. We've got some comments on the YouTube channel. Says, I love Ms. Mannion, always have, hope she's doing well. Another one here, there'll be goals flowing in tonight, like a 3-2 win to Manchester United. I hope you're absolutely right, you two. That was DJ Darkest Night and Tere Paul Adebayi. Right, before we go, we're going to get some tactical insight from Aoife very, very shortly. We've even got a prop to help us out. This is absolutely incredible. First, though, we need to get ourselves back inside Old Trafford because Mark Skinner has been talking to Sarah.
So, Mark, it's the big news is that Fallon is missing out on tonight's game. Is she okay, first of all? And secondly, it's a great opportunity for Saf Middleton Patel, isn't it?
It is. Fal took a knock in the game against Villa, and so she's been assessed. We're waiting the next couple of days for clarity on that. But she misses out tonight. But it's a great opportunity. I mean, I spoke to Saf before the game, and I'm like, we're here making history tonight, and you've worked so hard to be where you are. And same for Kayla, like Kayla to be ready as well. I think both of them to be presented at the moment, it's what you prep for as a goalkeeper. And so, yeah, look, obviously we'll miss Fallon, but, you know, I'm wishing Saf the best, and, you know, she has incredible talent, so I'm looking forward to her taking the moment and enjoying herself.
We have got plenty of strong players in our team, but there's quite a few strong players on our bench as well. You must be excited that at any point in that game you can call on that bench to bring that energy whenever you need it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, look, we start the game a certain way and we finish it a different way. So, you know, I think players have been waiting patiently, but also they're ready to take their moments. And I think, yeah, it's great to have that quality to come into the game. Each has their own reason why they're there and so on. So, with these games coming thick and fast and a high-level quality, we need to make sure everybody's ready. So tonight we'll start a certain way, and hopefully we can finish a different way to stay as strong as the starting lineup will keep it.
And finally, this is an historic night at the Theatre of Dreams, and even though the rain is pouring, there are people coming in their thousands tonight to support the Reds. How important is that to you and the rest of the team?
It's the most important. It's the reason we're here. Right, it's the reason we even walked through this door to get onto this field, this wonderful, iconic stadium. I think the fans are the heartbeat of this club and will always forever be. So tonight we're going to need their voices. We're playing a very difficult team. We have to be at our very best. And but with them, you know, that's our chance to kind of come as a collective and take the game to PSG.
Thank you very much, and good luck to you and the team.
Always good to hear from Mark Skinner, and he was really explaining what's going on around the substitutions and the team selection. As you can see, they are heading out onto the pitch at Old Trafford now, and basically saying there is a reason for every decision that he has made around team selection this evening. Some of that will be around the games coming thick and fast. Some of it will be around wanting to keep the quality as high as he can for as long as he can. Mark Skinner might feel, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, that as this game goes on, he needs to bring fresh energy to the pitch, and maybe we're into that starters versus finishers argument again, which is really important as we go through the Champions League. So we'll keep a little eye on that situation. Right, as the teams come out, it's really important to remind you, the QR code on the screen now is a reminder of exactly how you can watch this game live. We are not showing the game live on YouTube. We can't do that because of the rights restrictions that come with the Champions League. So instead you have to watch it elsewhere, potentially if you're in the UK on the BBC, for example, and we are your companion. We're your second screen. We are going to give you the insight and the updates as we see it as specialists around Manchester United women's team, and we can kind of give you a little bit more insight than potentially some of the commentators that don't see United week in, week out. That's the idea that we're doing there. So make sure you stick with us as your second screen whilst you're watching the game. Essentially, mute them, listen to us instead. That's essentially what we're saying to you. Right, they look absolutely ready to go, don't they, Manchester United's women's team. They are focused and ready, and it's really, really important to now get the beginning part of this game done. Aoife, you've got a wonderful tactics board next to you, and I wonder whether you might be able to just explain what Manchester United will look like when they're in possession and maybe in a good game state, what the shape of Manchester United might look like as we go through the first half.
No pressure. Yeah. No pressure. Yeah, so under United, under Mark Skinner team, a massive outlet for United is their fullbacks. You spoke about it earlier, Glenn. Jade Riviere and Anna Sandberg, they're so instrumental. And you can always tell, I think, when a United team are in form and in flow during the game because their fullbacks are joining in. So what that looks like on the pitch is your wide players, they're able to get up higher, but you can't just have your wide players, so your fullbacks getting higher and standing on the feet of the winger. So what happens is they call it inverting the winger, and it basically just means the winger pushes inside. Now, a lot of wingers like to be 1v1 and stay out wide, so you have to be really careful about your partnerships between the fullbacks and the wingers, and that's why the relationship between, let's say, Jade Riviere and Jess Park is working so well, because you get Jade, who is incredibly fast, a really good 1v1 player, matched up with Jess Park, who can play in midfield, is really technical, really creative, really good ball carrier of the ball. And I think over the years, Mark, as a manager, he does that really well. I think he has a a really good eye for spotting relationships between 2 players, 3 players on the pitch, and kind of building a system and a shape that suits that. So just look out for that. If United look in flow tonight, you'll see Jade really high and you'll see Jess Park inside.
That is something that Jess Park, I know for a fact, having spoken to Mark this week, when Jess moved to Manchester United, she did not want to be an out-and-out winger. She wanted to be able to come inside. And Mark has sort of gone, yeah, that's going to work perfectly for me, because I want to play this inverted role so where Jay can get on the outside and Jess can move in, and then all of a sudden you've got this almost box shape that appears in midfield that gives Manchester United a little bit more possession and a little bit more opportunity to keep possession high up the field, and it's really important to the way that they play football.
And I think Jess coming in, it's given her freedom to express herself, and she's expressed herself tremendously. You know, I know we're biased, but United have got the better end of the deal so far. You know, when Grace has moved to City, Jess coming here, she's been allowed to express herself. She's influenced games tremendously. I think, is it 3-4 times she's been player of the match? You know, and that just shows the impact that she's already had.
Right, I need to just explain to you again, the game is about to get underway. We're not showing it live. If you want to watch it, you need to find a way to watch it elsewhere. So wherever it is in your local territory, you'll be able to watch it, and you're bringing us along as a companion. I tell you what would be really handy is that if you're subscribed to the Manchester United Women's YouTube channel, just put where you can watch it and what country that you're in. So for example, if you're in the UK and it's on the BBC, but if you're elsewhere and you can get it, in fact, you can either do that or the QR code, which is just here, will give you an idea of exactly where you can watch it as well. The game is underway. We have started, and Manchester United are shooting towards the Stretford end in the opening 45 minutes. So maybe a slightly different way around. Did you have the same kind of feelings around the Stretford end that the men's first team have, where you actually want to be shooting towards the Stretford end in the second half, or did it matter less?
I think in the early days of the women's team playing at Old Trafford, even just being there is such an experience. Now, we've watched games as players we've watched men's games from the Stretford end, so we love that atmosphere. So things like those sorts of considerations are coming into it. But really, when we played there, it was just appreciating what an amazing opportunity it was. And you almost don't want it to be like that, because when you appreciate the opportunity too much, you can actually get a bit overwhelmed. So I'm delighted for the girls that playing at Old Trafford isn't a massive deal for them, hopefully, only because they've had experience. And actually, for some of the PSG fans, you might find that they're actually United fans.
It's an early opportunity into the penalty area for PSG here, and eventually turned away to the edge of the box, and it's Fridolina Rolfo that can actually complete that clearance. And I tell you, I've just heard something in my ears that might give me an idea that something is coming. Shot comes in, it's off the post. PSG early hit the woodwork. Safia Middleton-Patel diving away to her left-hand side, doesn't actually get anywhere near it, ricochets off the foot of the post and away. And PSG trying to take shots from distance, and maybe this is them realising it's not Fallon Tullis-Joyce in goal and wanting to get an early testing of Safia Middleton-Patel. Yeah,
potentially. Number 6, Echegini, she loves a shot from outside the box. So for the United girls now, they'll be thinking, when she gets on the ball, we need to close her down, because she can take long range shots. She's also a really, really good player. So look out for her. Number 6, Echegini, very good player.
Yeah.
I think it's what we mentioned before. It's those two in front there, the pivot in the midfield, actually doing the job to prevent those long-range shots. I mean, it's quite clear though they will have been briefed to actually have a go at Saf early, and I'm sure come any set piece or corner, they're really going to put the pressure on her, and that's where obviously we're going to need the mettle of the team around her to support her as well early doors.
See what happens as we go through this game. United are back in possession in midfield, so hopefully a little bit of controlled possession here just to relieve the sting of the early part of this game. Thank you very much to everybody that is with us on the Manchester United YouTube channel. It's been really, really good to have you along. Thank you very much for your help as well, pointing out where people can watch along to this game. That's brilliant. CMH says, here we go again, Reds. I can actually watch the game this time, but still putting the watch along on. Thank you very much indeed. IRE 12368 says, come on girls, let's do it. Let's do this, girls, says Hadij. DJ Darkest Night, apart from our FA Cup win, this is the biggest game of all of their lives. Come on, United. I'm so happy to see Safia play. We love United, we do, says Marcus. Krishna says, love Manchester United and love this show. Thank you very much indeed. If you want to get involved in the comments section, we would love to hear from you. You just need to make sure that you are subscribed to the Manchester United Women's YouTube channel. That's the only way that you can get involved in the comments section. If you can see me looking up, it's because the TV is above the camera, so I'm kind of watching along with the game at the same time. That's kind of what we want you to be doing as well, watching this as well as watching the game, so you can see what we're talking about at the same time as us seeing it. PSG are doing exactly what we anticipated that they were going to do, and that's keeping the pressure on United as high up the pitch as they can. This is something that when I spoke to Mark in the week, he was saying that they need to be anticipating and then trying to break them down. If they can play through that high press from PSG, they stand a really good chance of breaking on them, and in transition Manchester United are excellent, and it's one of the main reasons for playing Melvin Mallard is that she's so good at stretching in behind.
Yeah, massively. Melvin is a player that's really, really in form. She gives a lot to the team on the ball. I think she's United's top goal scorer. And then also off the ball, she can create really good pressing traps, and where she puts pressure on the opposition defence and creates opportunities from that. So that's something that they'll be definitely looking at. I've just been watching this game and I've noticed that PSG have changed the shape of their pressing shape than what they normally have. So normally they have one striker.
You've got a tactics board. Show us on the tactics board.
Normally PSG will press out when they've not got the ball. That's something that looks like that. It's called a 4-5-1. But actually what's happening is they're pushing their number 6 Etragini higher, and it looks, just thought that was a goal then nearly, it looks actually like a 4-4-2. So what that means for the viewers that maybe aren't interested in formations is it's actually a little bit more passive, but what you'll notice is when they do commit and go to win the ball back,
they go together.
They go with vigour and intensity, and that can be really, really awkward for United. So they're going to have to really switch on to their technical quality and ball keeping ability to really play around and get out of it.
For any Manchester United fan that has watched Ruben Amorim's side in recent weeks, Manchester United end up for Brian Mbeumo's opener at the weekend, for example, with 6 in the penalty area, very, very similar, where Mbeumo actually pushes up with Cunha as 2 at the top, and then there are 4 in behind them, and that's what leads to Manchester United opening the scoring at the weekend. It's exactly what PSG are trying to do to Manchester United's women here. So far so good though. They've had to ride out a couple of little moments, but as Aoife pointed out, there is all of a sudden stuff opening up in the opposite direction. So as I say that, PSG breaking into the penalty area again. That's really well covered by Anna Sandberg as she drops in, tracks her runner Ajibad all the way. Really well done. Just keeps the pressure on, knocks in behind, and she's going to have to do that all night long.
Yeah, she's a big player for PSG, and their number 10, Ajibad. Very good 1v1 player. In terms of her shot making ability, she can sometimes make rush shots. So she did so well there down the wing, but then that little bit of finesse and quality to make the right decision in the area, it was lacking on that occasion. But definitely she's a threat for PSG, so Anna is going to have to be on top form to keep her at bay.
Maya Letizia striding out from the back, just gets caught in possession, but that's going to be a really important outball for Manchester United as well. She sees that space so brilliantly, Maya Letizia, and when she has the opportunity to run, she's able to do that. Equally, has an incredible range of passing from deep too, Glenn.
And I think just building on what Aoife said there, though, it's that balance. Drawing. She drew 3 or 4 players. Is then if she's drawn those players, there's going to be gaps elsewhere, and it's then picking the moment to release that ball to find them. And I say the interesting point for me so far is in the 10, Simi. We've not got her on the ball. I don't think she's had a kick yet. We need to get her involved in the game. We're used to seeing Tooney in that role, and I think it's important now that we get Simi on the ball and actually get her athleticism into the game.
I'm going to talk to you about Simi's position in just a second. Let's just read a couple more of these messages as PSG into the box again. Real opportunity here. Out comes Safia Middleton-Patel, makes her first claim of the night, and that'll do her confidence the world of good. People watching us currently: France, Norway, Nigeria, Kenya, Ireland, Hull, England. I wonder whether we've got any PSG fans along to the right. If we have, I'm sorry, it's just biased. I mean, Tunali 10 says, gotta love Aoife Manion, just watching for Aoife, easily my favourite player at the moment. That's a Toonami 10. I wonder who they support.
Toonami 10.
I wonder whether we might have a Newcastle United fan infiltrating the watch-along. Liam Blake says, I knew Aoife, just couldn't think of a name. I'm Irish. DJ Darkest Night says, fantastic to see fans of our girls and PSG tuning in from all around the world. It's lovely to have you along. If you would like to get involved in the chat, make sure that you are subscribed to the Manchester United Women's YouTube channel. It's the only way that you can post your comment. Your comments are what keep us going, so we would love more of those as well if you can possibly manage it. Just tell us, even if you tell us where you are, when you started supporting Manchester United Women, who your favourite Manchester United player is, that would be absolutely brilliant, just to find out some of that stuff as we go through. Get to know you a little bit better, as well as listening to us waffling on about the football. Mary Earps is going to take the goal kick here. Let's talk about Simi Awujo, because the temptation for a number 10 who's not getting themselves on the ball is to drop deep to try and get themselves involved. I have a funny feeling that Mark's given her quite specific instructions tonight that he needs her to stay higher to give United an out, Glenn.
Yeah, particularly, and again, as Aoife's alluded to with the press, they're pressing in the middle third there. We've got to find a way to either skip that press, either through it, over it, or around it, and get her involved. And ideally, they want to go through it so they can get her in that pocket so she can get faced up and actually get at the PSG defence. And I think that's got to be key now, is actually bypassing that press that PSG have put on. It's key there, isn't it? You can see that she's got instructions to stay high, nearly making it a 2 as such, really, isn't it?
Just watching PSG on the charge again down the right-hand side. This is their top scorer in the competition this season that they're just going to have to be a little bit careful of. They've only scored 1 goal in the Champions League, PSG, so far. That was against Real Madrid. Yeah, so they scored 1 in the loss against Real Madrid and then lost 4-0 to Wolfsburg. I think they're a better team than those 2 results probably suggest. And interestingly, Manchester United have got Wolfsburg coming up as well, so that'll be an interesting couple of matches for United. But they are just going to have to keep an eye on Ajibad, because very, very capable, Aoife, down that right-hand side for them.
Yeah, very capable and very can be very awkward to defend. Really good 1v1 defender, and what you'll see on that side is that they'll kind of just leave her to it, so she'll almost be like looking like she's isolated, but actually as a player, as someone that craves that contact and that 1v1 duel, that's what you want from those players. And you've seen her a few times. She's been on the wing down that side, kind of being a bit of a menace, and I'm sure as United settle into the game, that'll get under control and Anna will more than dominate her. But at the moment, you can just see that she is a threatening player.
We've had a comment from Kinder Makongwe, who says, can you just put the game on screen and negotiate for the rights violation later? I tell you what, Kinder, what we'll do is we'll send you the bill. So if you just drop us your email address, we'll forward the invoice onto you when UEFA give us a big slap on the wrist. How's that? We can't do it. We'd love to do it. Unfortunately, it's just outside of our power, which is a real shame, because we would love to be doing this game live on MUTV. Hopefully you'll be able to watch the highlights back with us a little bit later on, but this is as good as it gets, and that's us 3 talking about the game, as Anna Sandberg does brilliantly again.
Yeah. Very well again.
And Melvin Mallard has turned away against her former side and found a little bit of space through the middle, looks to poke it through the legs out to the right hand side, where Jade Riviere can start the run with Jess Park. Jess Park, really interesting. I've been down at training quite a lot this week for one reason and another. She looks much taller on the TV than she is in real life, because in real life she's what, 5'2", maybe, quite diminutive, maybe 5'3". Sorry if I've underheighted you there, Jess, but looks much bigger when she's playing a game of football. That's a weird thing, isn't it?
Yeah, she's not a tall player, and as a defender you can make the mistake of thinking that somehow gives you the advantage, and with Jess Park that is absolutely not the case. She is one of the best ball carriers, like dribblers of the ball in the league. Very, very good, very intelligent, very spatially aware. So her height, it's deceptive, massively deceptive.
We ended up with 15 or 16 countries last time we did one of these where people were watching from. We've just added South Africa to the list for tonight. I wonder whether we can beat the record of 15 or 16 different countries that we had last time. So if you are watching from somewhere that we haven't mentioned, just drop us a message in the chat. The best way to do that, make sure you subscribe to the Manchester United Women's YouTube channel, then you'll be able to get involved. Nina Jones says, just great to see Manchester United women in the Champions League. I agree. We had a podcast this week with that's just come out with Matt Johnson, who's the director of women's football at Manchester United. You'll hear a little bit of that at half-time in this game. You can download the full episode now from wherever you get your podcasts from. What I found really interesting was Manchester United are not also Rams. That's what they're trying to say. That's what Matt Johnson wants to embody. They want to go deep in any competition that they play in. They want to make it through the group phase. They want to get themselves into the knockout phase of this competition, and they believe that they can do it. And the two results that we've seen early in this competition would suggest that he's absolutely right, Aoife.
I would agree with that, and I think that something that is so special about having played for United is that from day one, that belief and that energy and really like the ambition to win games that potentially you didn't even have a right to win. It was always there, and I'm sure, Glenn, you would have felt that as a coach for the years previous to that.
I think when we started in the Championship before we went in the Super League, but the crowds that we drew in on the Championship, it was just because of the name of Man United, but it was always the intention was we're going to achieve. And as I say, 3 points tonight puts United pretty much in the driving seat to qualify, into the knockout stage. Here we go.
We've added Kenya, Pakistan, Zimbabwe, Australia to the list of places. If you're watching him from Kenya, I went to Kenya on my honeymoon. I was really lucky, went on safari, so I did Nairobi for a little bit, and then we went out into the Masai Mara. And every time we left the game reserve, our guide waved at us and went, you have to say Jambo to everybody every time you leave. So that was hello and goodbye and thank you and all sorts. So Jambo. And also, I didn't know, but Hakuna Matata is actually a thing. There you go. Who knew? Not just the Lion King.
Good to know.
Random. Nobody cares today. People's Republic of Northwich, I don't think counts as a country, by the way. Slovakia, however, absolutely does. So we'll add those on. We are a quarter of an hour into this game. Manchester United have got a corner swung in on Maya Letitia with the header, and it's just been cleared away. It was a header from deep from Maya Letitia. Probably needed Melvin Mallard to try and divert that at the back post, but Maya's done brilliantly to find a pocket of space in the penalty area.
Yeah, and it was a great first contact, and you're always told as someone attacking the ball on a corner, just head the ball back across the way that it's came. So she does everything right there, and it just creates that little bit of chaos, and unfortunate for Melvin that she couldn't maybe challenge for it a bit more. But definitely we're starting to see United a bit higher up the pitch, which is where they want to be, really.
Just keeping a little eye on Simi Awujo as well. We haven't seen Manchester United be able to press PSG yet because of where the ball has been in possession for the away side. We've just seen it for the first time, and you were talking about PSG changing their shape to a 4-4-2. We've just seen Simi Awujo push right up there to help Melvin with the early press from that, and that is why she's that's right in all. We've had a yellow card, and I think Melvin Mallard has just been penalised for maybe a little bit of a coming together here. Need to just have another little look at the replay. Almeida down with, right, here we go. It's just chipped forward by Gabby George. Melvin Mallard comes across, and that is the softest yellow card.
She's got nowhere near her face. She's holding her face. She's got nowhere near her face.
That's dreadful. Yeah. You've got to be allowed to challenge for a ball like that, Eva, haven't you?
And
definitely.
I think in this day and age, high jumpers, they lead with their arm when they're going over the flop. You've got to lead with your arm to get the height anyway. It's just getting ridiculous, the challenges that are not allowed these days. And I'm sure Aoife will agree with that, because she likes to put a challenge in, doesn't she?
We're adding Malawi, Togo, Uganda and Italy to our list. Malawi, there's a place that I'd absolutely
past that 17, sure.
love to visit. Right, so United trying to get on the front foot again. This is where they can overrun the midfield. They're going to win themselves a free kick because there is a coming together, and a hand has been trodden on in the melee. That is just the danger of sprawled out on the Old Trafford turf that occasionally you're going to get your hand trodden on. That's where United, I think, can do really well, where all of a sudden the ball's in transition, there's numbers committed forward, and it is last-ditch defending from PSG to try and prevent that from happening.
Yeah, because I think what we've seen from United so far, everything they've had is played in front of PSG, and it's been quite easy for them to shuffle across and not broke the lines, but either in transition, and the one time that they did break the lines, then United have caused problems. Excuse me.
Yeah, so we've got an injury, so we've got a little bit of a break in play. Super Baller says, Hakuna Matata means no problem. I'm glad you chose Kenya to honeymoon. Welcome back. I'd love to come back. That would be absolutely brilliant. If you could pay for it, that would be marvellous, because I had to rely on all of my wedding guests to pay for the first one, and I don't think I'm going back anytime soon. But it was absolutely beautiful, stunning country, and I really enjoyed my time over there. California, so we're adding the USA to the list. Salford, yeah, you need your passport to get into Salford, don't you, from here? So that's definitely a different country. Nigeria also added to the list as well. We've been playing 20 minutes between Manchester United and PSG. This is the Watchalong on YouTube from Manchester United. If you want to watch the game, you can do that wherever it's available in your country, and keep us as your companion screen, your second screen, to give you a little bit of an idea of how the game is going, maybe a little bit of insight. There's the QR code on your screen now. What have you made of the opening 20 minutes, Eva?
I think it's been a little bit busy. I think just in the last few minutes we're starting to see United get a bit more joy, being able to get the ball higher up the pitch and also put a little bit more pressure on PSG. I think they'll need to see a lot more of that as this half progresses, and probably this slight break in play has come at the right time. Definitely PSG have probably had the better of the chances. That being said, Melvin and Jess Park did have that one good chance there, potentially the best chance of the game actually. So it's a bit bitty, it's a bit cagey, and I expect United to sort of settle into the game a bit more and really start to command the spaces a bit more.
Glenn?
I think it's just looseness, whether it's nerves, it's a big occasion for the players. They've just been loose on some of the final passes when they've had the chance to break forward. But here we go now. We've got Simi on the ball for a start, which is good, and Sandberg's getting forward. So that's what we need, as Aoife said in the actual tactical analysis, getting the full-backs forward. We've not seen that yet, and that's a part of the game that we do need to get United dominating the ball and getting the full-backs forward.
United are on the ball with Simi Awujo. Again, I don't want to give too much away from what I've seen over the last few days, because I've been in a very fortunate position where the women's team needed some help with bits and pieces, something that I was qualified to go and help them with, and I've seen quite a lot of how they go about it, what their tactical shape has been, the kind of stuff that they've been working on. Let me tell you, Anna Sandberg down the left-hand side spent maybe 20 minutes of a drill out wide, crossing balls into the penalty area. It is definitely a position that Mark Skinner has seen where he thinks Anna Sandberg can be super helpful for United, which is her ability to get round the outside and deliver into the penalty area.
And of the 15 goals that PSG have conceded this year in Champions League and also their domestic league, 5 have come from crosses.
This is why Aoife Mannion is here, right? That level of detail. I've done my research. It's not a patch on what. How do you find that style?
I just watch back the goals and see where they've come from.
Oh, yeah, that sounds really simple now you've said it.
Well, no, and that's obviously that suits United as well, because United are a team. They want to make the most of the wide areas. They want to make the most of 1v1s and 2v1s with the full-backs, the wingers, and putting balls into the box. So for that also to be PSG's potential weakness, that should be a good matchup for United. So it'd be interesting to see, as the game goes on, how many crosses they get into the box. I did look at one stat from their match against Villa on Sunday that said they put 30 crosses into the box. Now, I don't know how accurate that is, but at the moment we've not really saw that ratio of kind of getting crosses into the box for them to be in their full flow.
And I think that's where I sort of mentioned earlier, it's just that little final pass. There was one just earlier there where Melvin Mallard just gave the ball away when they was getting into a good position to get the ball in the box, and it's just that little final detail. And again, hopefully as the nerves settle down, then that'll become more appropriate. But United do now seem to be getting the upper hand territorially and possession-wise, which is good.
Will says, watching along from New Zealand, and then opens bracket, says, work? What's that? Look, Will, I appreciate you greatly for being here. Please don't get sacked for us. And if you do get sacked for us, there's nothing we can do about it, all right? Here comes the ball into the penalty area, turned away by by PSG. Back in again. All of a sudden, the game after 23 minutes is just starting to settle into a bit more of a pattern that we're quite familiar with of seeing with Manchester United, and that is turning the ball over high and putting teams under a little bit of pressure. And this delivery from the half space from Anna Sandberg is also a feature of how Manchester United try and break down these middle low blocks. They try and move it across 3 or 4 different channels to create the space, and if the cross can't be put in from wide, they try and do it from the half space.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
So I was just going to say, it's the Gary Neville space, isn't it? Where Gary Neville on the right hand side used to do it for the men's team at United. Sorry.
No. I think that there's a massive emphasis put on United of the different types of crosses. Of course, we say cross, but there's really 3 key types of crosses. There's a back post delivery, a cutback, and then also one where it's like whipped round the face of the defenders. And something that United do really well is that back post delivery. So it's not just, we say the word cross, but that can mean something very different for different teams. Some teams just hoof it into the box. United have much more like technical and tactical ability than that, and what you'll have watched through their training week, Liam, will have been like a really specific cross that they'll have worked on, that they specifically think is going to give them the best chance of scoring against PSG.
Just for people that might not know, is it a case of putting good balls into good areas, or are you trying to pick out a player in the penalty area?
I felt at United it was more about putting it into the right area. It's a bit different on a cutback, let's say where you've ran to the byline, whether it's a full-back or a winger, you can see an advancing midfielder arriving late. So that would be an instance where you would be looking for a player. But when it's those back zone deliveries, you're just putting it into an area where it's really awkward for the goalkeeper to come out and catch it. But also if the opponent's full-back is snoozing, they're not looking, and then it goes over their head and you've got a winger there to head it back in. So a little bit of both, but mostly you're putting it in the right area and you're expecting someone to be there.
Listening to some of the coaching staff, it was Scott Rogers that was talking to Anna, and she fizzed the ball right the way through the 6-yard box in training, and that fizz right the way across the 6-yard box just got huge rounds of applause, because they're like, if you can get a ball across between goalkeeper and the defenders, you can get the defenders turned back facing their own goal, then at that stage anything can happen.
It's the corridor of uncertainty. Yes. That's the coaching term. You get it into that corridor of uncertainty, and if you've got the defenders facing their goal, that's when you get the own goals. That's where it's talking about the crossing. It's also then key for the opposite side player getting in the box. If they'll fizz those balls in there, that they're attacking the ball as well. So your runs into the box are as key as where the crossing comes, because for their time in the runs, and you see it a lot of times, and very frustrating for coaches, where all players make the same run on the same line, and it's just staggering those runs, so you actually time your runs right.
We're still 0-0 in the game, but Manchester United definitely growing into the contest. PSG with the better of the early chances. We're now in a position where I think United are actually winning the arm wrestle in midfield, so let's hope that can continue as Gabby George goes sliding in, makes an absolutely brilliant challenge and gets United away down the left-hand side, and Melvin Mallard is desperate to run this, finds Awujo. Now United are in a really good position with Rolfer, who is chased away from the penalty area but manages to keep possession, and then it's Miyazawa that keeps the press. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Manchester United players inside that final third trying to keep pressure on the ball, and it forces PSG all the way back to the goalkeeper, and that's where Mark Skinner is going to want this Manchester United side to continue playing their football, because now it's been turned over by Jade Riviere. They're in a really strong position, and you can see that these are the areas, this is the style of football that Mark Skinner wants his side to be playing.
And the confidence is growing, that's for sure.
Miyazawa on the edge of the penalty area. Was it Miyazawa? It was. Well, we've seen her score an absolute screamer already. Connects with that one brilliantly, but it's just over the crossbar. And again, that's Mary Earps punching out from the from the cross, and Miyazawa on the edge of the D just couldn't quite rotate the hip enough to get her foot over the ball.
Yeah, and to be fair to Mary Earps there, she's quite commanding in that she makes a really decisive decision to come out and punch the ball. Unfortunately for her, it falls to Hinnie, and really if there's one or two players on the pitch that you wouldn't want it to fall to.
Yeah, we're able to see it here. That was the Miyazawa attempt. As Mary Earps punched it out, she's just drilled it over the bar. But
that
she's
was on her right.
Yeah, so capable from that kind of range as well, as we've seen already this season.
Great defending.
All of that started off by Jade Riviere, who is absolutely getting some love in the chat at the minute. Wahida says, Jade, wow. DJ Dark as Night says, Jade, immense. That's where, if you can get Jade Riviere up the pitch and on the ball she's so quick, she's such a powerful runner, she's such a good defender, she can turn the ball over in those places. Yeah, really, really good. Will's also been back on, says, thanks, Liam. If United win, it'll be worth it. He is, of course, referring to the fact that he's at work and he might get sacked. So let's hope that he doesn't get sacked and that Manchester United win. That would be absolutely brilliant. Top Shelf has just sent a load of maple leaves and let's go Riv. So it must be a Canadian. And there's another one, Glenn, that I'm sure that Casey Stoney's going to be keeping a very close eye on because she's so capable.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, definitely. And I think it's the resilience of keeping her fit and keeping her going for 90 minutes. Because historically she's done 70 minutes and then she's just dropped off the pace a little bit. But she seems this year to be a lot more resilient. And that was a classic Jade Riviere tackle, wasn't it? What a tackle it was.
You'd have been dead proud of that one, wouldn't you, Aoife?
Yeah, I know. It's frustrating, really, that someone can be so good at so many things.
I think Aoife would have been a bit upset that she didn't take the player, or would have taken the player as well.
Yeah, maybe show her another stud or two. No, that was a brilliant tackle from Jade.
Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, Barbados and Uganda. There's a holiday destination for you. A little bit of Barbados. Could do with some sunshine right about now. Anybody wants to stick me on a free flight to Barbados and put me up for a couple of weeks, that'd be great. Safia Middleton-Patel has had a couple of little bits to do, but nothing crazy. We see again that she's very good with her feet, playing out from the back, and that's something that Aoife pointed out beforehand. But everything that she has been asked to do, she's done with aplomb, Glenn.
Yeah, she has. She's done very well, and to be fair, they've looked very solid. So after the first sort of couple of minutes, that long-range shot, they've not really caused United any problems. And United are dominating possession now and the territory, which is good.
United back in possession, plenty more love for Jade Riviere in the chat. If you want to get involved, don't forget the only way to do it, get subscribed to the YouTube channel, click the bell, make sure the notifications are switched on, and then you'll be able to comment inside our chat, and then we can deliver those through to us here in the studio. And Melvin Mallard, real opportunity. Manchester United. What a finish that is from Melvin Mallard. Cuts in from the right-hand side and bangs a left foot finish past Mary Earps into the bottom left-hand corner. That is a brilliant goal from Manchester United.
What a ball from Riviera as well, and then Mallard. What strength she used, because Mbati is a very, very strong player, and that was tremendous. And again, I think it was mentioned, I think Aoife mentioned about Mark looking to be a little bit direct. That is a great ball there, and the strength from Mallard here is just fantastic. And she gets the wrong side. That's the French captain she's just actually taken off the ball there and put that in the far corner with a great finish.
Yeah, just shrugs her off. It's really good upper body strength from Melvin Mallard, and the finish on her left foot as well.
Such finesse. I mean, obviously she's right-footed, Melvin, so to have that curl and ability on her left foot, especially after being in such a combative duel, it's really, really hard after that to set yourself, pick out a corner and go for it, and what a finish that was. Well done, Melvin.
Can we please have some W's in the chat for Melvin Mallard, because that was absolutely brilliant. Really, really good. Lovely left-footed finish. And again, she's playing in a number 9 role. Actually there, she's come in off the right wing, through the right channel, taken on the player, shrugged them off into the penalty area, and a lovely left foot curling finish. Really, really good from Manchester United. Right, let's get some of these comments in. We've added Trinidad to the list. Love this. Can't see the game, depending on you three, says Top Shelf 552. Don't worry about it, we've got you covered, and hopefully we've just explained that United lead PSG by a goal 1-0. Mavis says, beautiful. John Newton says, come on, what a strike. Dredd says, what a finish. John Newton says, left foot is lethal. Well, good off both feet, clearly. And David says, great goal from Melvin Mallard. Really, really good. Against her former side as well. Came in on loan from PSG once upon a time. That loan was made permanent and has just become increasingly important in the dressing room as what they call in the NFL, they call them glue guys. They're the people inside a dressing room that stick everybody else together, and Melvin has quickly become that character in the Manchester United dressing room too, Eva.
Yeah, Melvin is a great girl, and I think in this era of increasing professionalism in football, you do need those characters that can lighten the mood a little bit. And Melvin is exactly that sort of person. She's always got the music going. She's always bringing the good vibes, always smiling. And so to see her get some of the goals that her hard work deserves, it's really, really nice. And I've got a feeling it might not be the last one we see from her.
Yeah, I hope you're absolutely right. Although Manchester United have won both of their previous Champions League games in the group phase by a single goal to nil. So 2 wins from 2 games, 2 goals, non-conceded. And I just wonder whether tonight would be a very good night to make it the first time they've scored more than 1 in the Champions League, especially with the challenges of not having your first choice goalkeeper available. Safi has done brilliant so far for Manchester United, but you would love to be able to give her a bit of a cushion, wouldn't you?
Just looking at that bit, sorry, Liam, just looking at that defending again. Anna is up against a great player, but she's absolutely stuck to her job all night long on that, and is actually winning that 1-to-1 battle, in my opinion, so far. Great defending from Anna there. Sorry, Liam.
No, it's all right. I was just saying that you would like to be able to give Safia Middleton-Patel a bit more of a cushion than a single goal today. Let's just wait for this corner to go in before you answer that one. It's flicked on, smashed goalwards, and eventually turned away. There has been a bit of a coming together between Melvin Mallard and somebody else inside the penalty area. As the ball comes back across and it's lifted over the top. Well, PSG have come close again. Unfortunately, unable to get the finish on target. It's lifted over the crossbar and away. Wow.
I think that sort of sums PSG up. They started so well, had some good chances, then were kind of quiet, and then it's as though as soon as United have scored, suddenly they've put their foot back on the pedal. And I think what it makes for is a really, really unpredictable team. They've got a team with so much quality, and it's really hard to predict exactly what version of themselves is going to show up in any given moment. So United are going to have to be so switched on now and see this result in to the half-time and try and not concede.
I got it wrong first watch. It was actually Maya Letitia that got the final touch to it and cleared it away, and that's brilliant defending from the Manchester United captain. Really, really good. We are going to have another corner because it was Maya Letitia that put that away. So PSG are about to put that into the penalty area where it comes all the way through the box and back out the other side where Anna Sandberg can get it back out to the right wing. But it's another ball in from Lukta and now all the way to the edge of the penalty area. United just having to do a little bit of defending here because PSG are turning the screw. If United could get hold of the ball, which they have the opportunity just to clear their lines, get everybody pushed out, and it's Jess Park that wriggles free, gets the pass clear to Fridolina Rolfer, and they are away, and that's exactly what they needed, just an opportunity to catch breath, get themselves reorganised. So well done. Shinaz, Jojo, Top Shelf, Tamrat, TWL, or Thomas, Katie Palmer, Glaive, Krishna, all with the W's in the chat. Thank you very much indeed. And DJ Dark as Night has just preempted what I've just said. We need to get hold of the ball and calm it down. Exactly what's just happened with Jess Park. Manchester United's 3 goals in the Champions League so far this season have come from 3 different sources. One of those was a penalty in the opening game from Maya Letitia. A lovely penalty against Valorenga. Fridolina Rolfer in the second game, using her experience, a real blast against Atleti into the top corner. Those 2 goals were enough to win both of the games. Now Manchester United have got Melvin Mallard to thank for a 1-0 lead at Old Trafford against PSG, and things at the moment going Manchester United's way with 7 or 8 minutes to go until half-time. What goes through your heads? Is your captain at this point, is Maya Letitia communicating and saying, right, concentrate now for the last 8 minutes of this half, Aoife?
She will be, but also in a stadium like Old Trafford, it's really, really hard to hear each other talk. So there's not as much verbal communication as you think, and it sounds cliche, but the big players will do their talking on the ball. So just what you see with Jess Park there, where United were under pressure, cleared their lines, and then you look and you rely on a character like Jess to just be able to relieve that pressure and get the ball up the pitch. So I think it's more talking with what you do on the ball and that quality, rather than talking and shouting, because it is so loud at this stadium.
Lay people, you know, people that are just casual football fans may not understand just how important having a role like that is. Jess Park might be seen as this attacking player that's supposed to be creative and give you opportunities up front, but actually her defensive role, her role to bring the ball out, is just as important as the creativity at the other end of the pitch.
Exactly, and I was going to comment on it earlier. The work, you know, we're talking about on the board there where Jeff comes inverted, but her work coming back to support the fullback and their fullback overlapping has been tremendous in this game. I think one worry for me, and I'm looking at it from a coach's perspective, it's going back to Simi. We've not got her in the game. To me, it strikes of getting Tooney on second half. That's, you know, being quite brutal and ruthless, but I think we've not got her in the game. She's not played a lot of football. Probably they were thinking at the start 60 minutes maybe her max, but to me, I think I'll be looking at a change at half time on that. I just don't think we've seen enough of her.
JPS says Sandberg has been so solid this season. Her and Jade on either side, and then just sort of a okay emoji, and I love that.
Oh, what, Liam?
It was an okay emoji, wasn't it? I was trying to match it to the emoji that was on the on my screen. And Tone Deaf says Man United winging it, but in the positive sense. Winging it, I mean wingering it is probably a little bit closer to what he means, I think. But yeah, absolutely right. Those high up the field, right? We've
just
had
an example of Jess Park's strength again there. Just absolutely phenomenal. She got a body in front. As you said, she's not as tall as you think, but she absolutely got in front there and absolutely bossed that situation and gained United a free kick in a really attacking position.
Karchawi absolutely furious of that, and actually there is just the hint of a smile from Jess Park as she walks away because she knows that she's worked very hard to make sure that foul is given, and I quite like that. Just a little bit of a smirk as she's walking away.
She's walked into a trap there, Kachui, and she knows it. And it's really frustrating as a defender when you do get played like that. Some players, some attackers actually want that contact and then deliberately take the foul. And it's intelligent because look at the position on the pitch where United have got a free kick.
Into the final 5 minutes of the first half, and it's a right wing free kick for United. Two-player wall with Jackie Groenen and Karchawi as the two options here. Ziggiotti brilliant with the right foot, Anna Sandberg great with the left foot. Good quality delivery here could put PSG in a little bit of bother. So see what Manchester United can come up with.
Great time score now, wouldn't it? Just before half time.
Wouldn't it just? We're waiting for this to be delivered into the penalty area. I'll try and keep you up to date as that comes in. Oh, it's cleared away, and then Jess Park sees an opportunity to have a go from distance, but clips it over the bar. Moses has been in touch. Moses, I understand that you would love us to be able to show you the goal. Unfortunately, this is one of the things, one of the rules that UEFA have in place that mean that we can't show you the game live, but we also can't show you the goals. We can show you chances. Chances are fine, but we can't show goals. It is a rule that UEFA put into place. I think it must be to protect rights holders or whatever, but it's really frustrating. We know it's frustrating. We would love to be able to show you that goal. Unfortunately, we can't. We can only show you the chances. If you want to watch the game live, you can scan the QR code on your screen now. That'll give you an idea of exactly where you can watch the game, and hopefully there'll be a replay of that once we get to half-time. Shinaz Mathi says, supporter of Manchester United since 1980. That was for the men, but just love our ladies because they are a team, not a group of individuals. And that's something that Aoife has already touched on as we've gone through this evening. United get the ball clear again, and we are into the final 3 minutes of the first half. I think as this half has gone on, Glenn, United have got better and better.
Oh yeah, definitely dominated the ball now and looking confident. And to be fair, they're managing the game really well. They've obviously got the lead, and it's up to PSG and come back, but they're managing the game really well. Touch wood so far.
Get involved in the comment section by subscribing to the Manchester United Women's YouTube channel. That's what you're watching us on. Just click the subscribe button underneath the video and you'll be able to get involved in the comment section. It would be really, really nice to have you in the chat as we do this YouTube live watch along for Manchester United's women against PSG, where United leading by a goal to nil thanks to a brilliant finish from Melvin Malar. Coming up at half time, we're going to bring you episode 2 of the new Inside Carrington podcast, where we spoke to the director of women's football, Matt Johnson. If you haven't seen or heard that yet, you'll be able to see a clip from it once we get to the half-time interval. If you would like to download the entire episode, you can do that from wherever you get your podcast from, and it's available for you on the Manchester United YouTube channel as well. Myself, Helen Evans presenting it, and Phil Jones too, keeping you company as we go through that. And we've got some brilliant episodes scheduled and lined up for you along the way, as Safia Middleton-Patel has to palm that one over the bar. Difficult ball, just dipping underneath the crossbar, just making certain that it goes behind, and that's maybe just a hint of I'm lying. I was going to say a hint of nerves. Actually, she's done really well.
Done
with
really well.
Drilled in.
A difficult cross. Yeah, difficult cross. She dealt with that really well.
Yeah, done brilliantly. But it does give the corner away with well, just over 60 seconds left to go into the penalty area. Heads come in, turned away again. United have defended brilliantly, Aoife, over the course of the first half as it flashes back into the box, and you can see.
Don't say anything.
Aoife just having a moment there as that ball came back into the penalty area. Goodness me, I've had a moment as well. Oh goodness, it's actually come flashing through.
I feel like I'm on a roller coaster.
Yeah, me too. That's exactly what it feels like. But again, you know, it's not actually troubled the on-target statisticians, has it? Both of those attempts go well wide.
To be fair, Saf's done well again. She's got a body there and blocked it. She's done really well there.
Can see the coaching staff of Manchester United standing up inside the dugout. That was Dan Bale, Scott Rogers, both sort of watching on, with Mark Skinner trying to maintain a calm and composed outer visage at the very least. I'm not quite sure it'll be that calm and composed inside. Fridolina Rolfo has been caught here, and that will sort of tick the time down towards halfway. What do you think Mark Skinner will be saying to his side at half time?
I think he'll be pleased the way they've actually now taken control of the game. I think he'll want them to just tighten up a little bit in the last third with the possession in actually the final pass, but I think he'll be very pleased the way the game's panned out for him. Again, I'm hammering the point again. I think from a coaching perspective, I would like to see Tooney come on and just she can make those runs, she can support a little bit more, and I just think Simi probably just passed her by a little bit, I think, in my opinion. I might be a bit harsh, but I just think she's not played a lot of football, and it just has shown through for me that she's a little bit short of match fitness. Match sharpness, sorry.
Yeah, no, Lamin has just been in touch and said Manchester United should go back to Manchester City and give them another £1 million for Jess Park, one of the best swap deals ever. No, they can't have any more money. She belongs to us now, and actually has had a brilliant start to her career at Manchester United. She'll be really pleased with the way that's gone, but also the role that has been created for her. We kind of touched on this before kick-off about how important Jess Park was in this squad system, where she's turned the ball over again. Jess Park is charging towards the penalty area. She's absolutely, it's so difficult to take the ball off her as well, isn't it? She tries to poke it into Awujo. Awujo's going to get this across to Rolfo. Rolfo inside the penalty area, falls to Sandberg. Sandberg drills the shot in. It's dragged, well, pushed just wide of the far post. But again, all of that comes from Jess Park.
Jess Park, work ethic, strength. I mean, Aoife mentioned it right at the outset, the energy, and that was there for everybody to see.
Here is the chance that we've just been talking about. Jess Park carrying it in, and then it works its way through. Sandberg entering the penalty area, looks to get this shot away, just can't wrap that right boot around it enough to curl it in at the far post. But it's really positive from Manchester United. We've just had a comment from Christiana that said, or it might be Christian A. I don't know whether it's Christiana or Christian A. It's one of those two. I can't find where to watch the match. Well, if you click the QR code or scan the QR code on your device, you will be able to figure out exactly where you can watch this game. Just make sure that you keep us with you, because we're going to try and bring you some added insight and various bits and pieces as we go through the second half. We played 2 minutes of the 3 added on at the end of this half. Oh, goodness me, what an equaliser that is. From distance, bent in. Wow, that is a brilliant, brilliant finish just before the break. And we were talking about good times to score. PSG have just done exactly that. That is some finish, Glenn.
Yeah, really good finish. Unfortunately, United losing the ball in the wrong area of the park, but you cannot take anything away. That is a world-class finish, that. Nothing that Saf could do about that one. But again, she's got the space, just touch out of her feet and into the top left-hand corner of the keeper.
Olga Carmona with the finish. From 25 yards, Aoife, it's a good finish.
Yeah, it is a very good finish, and frustratingly for United, from PSG's left back, who's been relatively quiet. It's a terrible, terrible time to concede. A really terrible time to concede, but I know that Mark's going to rally the troops now at half-time and remind them of how good that they've been in that first half, in large swathes of it, so they need to remember that and not get too hung up on this goal.
Yeah, and I think also United have been, for large parts of that first 45 minutes, the better side, and important for Mark not to get too emotional about conceding just before the break and making sure that he delivers the information that's required, which he always does, to be fair. He'll understand that if United can keep doing the things that they've done in that first half, they stand a really good chance of going on and winning the game. It's tough, isn't it? He'll look at that and he'll wonder whether maybe they could have been, Olga Carmona could have been closed down a little bit quicker. I don't think there's anything that the goalkeeper can do in that situation.
There's
just
nothing that
impossible
Saf can
to
do.
get there.
It's just frustrating that obviously lost the ball the last minute of that half and succumbed to a super finish. Very, very frustrating.
Right, JPS says, wow, fair play about the goal. Tone Deaf says, actually typed the words swear word. Didn't swear, just typed swear word into the chat. I love that, well done. Bad time to concede, says John. And DJ Darkest Night says, Aoife for future manager. Maybe that's a talking point for their second half. Yeah, it's just straight into the tactics board. I wonder whether that might be something in the future for Aoife, or whether we can convince her to be a pundit, because I think she's brilliant at that as well. Right, okay. So, Manchester United 1 apiece with PSG at half-time at Old Trafford. We're here at Hotel Football. We will continue to be your companion as we go through the second half. But I promised you that we would bring you the director of women's football, Matt Johnson, who was on the Inside Carrington podcast this week. Here it is now, talking to me, Helen Evans, and Phil Jones. Yeah, Phil Jones was with us as well, wasn't he? Here he is.
Matt, we want to concentrate a little bit on you on this podcast and get to know a little bit more about you. As I said before, you're director of women's football. Firstly, tell us what that role entails.
Yeah, for me, it's overseeing the women's programme at Manchester United. And yeah, it has two main parts really. On the pitch, which is like the sporting director element of the role, where you're looking after the recruitment, the training environment, the playing philosophy, working with the manager, etc. So very much like a tracksuit sporting director. And the other half then is working within the club around sort of the sustainable and the business element of the role. So that would be around the commercial and sponsorship, the marketing and the media, and then like the ticket sales to enable that we've got the economic environment that can sustain a good team on the pitch. So yeah, it oversees both, half tracksuit, half suit, half boardroom, half pitch.
You've come from a background as well, haven't you, of coaching. So do you prefer the tracksuit or do you prefer the businessman? Yeah,
it's a good question in that probably I've been involved in women's football a long time, so played as a kid playing football, was at Derby County within their youth programmes up to the age of 16, and then got released and went into semi-pro football. But obviously playing semi-pro football needed sort of a career alongside that, so got into coaching and then into sports development. And then ended up working on the business sides of like charitable organisations, Sport England, Great Sport, places like that. So always had this dual career where I've like never specialised at one thing, but been on the grass doing my licence badges. I've been in the back room doing strategy, running small charities, learning how you do accountancy and business. So in a way, it's been great training for this role because it means I've not been blinkered down. One, I've got a rounded skill set that hopefully allows me to manoeuvre within this function of this job, really.
And similar to last week with Jason Wilcox, you have another connection to Blackburn Rovers. We don't just bring Blackburn Rovers peoples on Phil, because you started there at the Centre of Excellence. How many years ago was that?
Oh, it was probably about 10, 11 years ago. And I had, good 5-6 years at Blackburn Rovers. Really enjoyed my time there, actually.
But that still wasn't, women's football wasn't where it is now, even only 10 years ago, which is crazy to think about that. What has developed since your time, for example, at Blackburn to now? In academy football, yeah.
Yeah, I think academy football now is probably getting more and more professional. Back in the time when I was at Blackburn, we had a really good programme, but we basically trained twice a week for a couple of hours each night, so 4 hours training, and then you would play on a Saturday or a Sunday against other academy teams in there. And we did really well, like people like Kira Walsh, Georgia Stanway. We signed and we developed and trained at the time, now major lionesses, so did really well. Compare that to now, where the girls are training at least 3 to 4 days a week. They've got professional staff full time, not just casual. Like our under 21s, they're training 4 to 5 times a week. They're playing in a national league. They're staffing a full time, and basically they get everything in terms of like resources that the first team do. So they'll have a nutritionist, they get analysts, they've got all the tech stuff. So yeah, from where it's gone from being what I would say very good amateur level to now more professionalised.
They've got a real chance of getting through in the league phase of that competition as well, haven't they? They're flying high at the top of the league.
Yeah, 21's our academy girls programme for a long period of time has been really, really successful. It's produced some really good teams and done well in like FA Youth Cups. And we're starting to see the benefit of that now with some of our younger players coming through into our first team. And a lot of them are now out on loan and doing really well. So yeah, this Manchester United, developing young players is what we do, is what we need to do. So yeah, it's good to see they're doing really well. They have qualified to the next phase, so it means that you're playing against the better teams more regularly. And that's the important thing. It's not necessarily always winning the trophies at 21s, but it's giving the players those opportunities to play against the best players regularly, because that will improve them more. So yeah, there's been a really good first half of the season for the 21s.
It's exciting.
And obviously, just talking about academy football, obviously the men's team here have that incredible record that we know. How important is it for you to have similar pathways for the girls coming through the academy into the first team here?
Yeah, no, it's really important. I think that's part of the Manchester United DNA. And as we're one big family club, it's important that we adopt that. And we're really proud of the fact that actually, like the men, since it was reincepted back in 2018, we've always had a homegrown youth player, not only within our matchday squad like the men's team, but within our starting 11. A lot of them appearances by people like Ella Tu, Millie Turner, Gabby George, Katie Zellum in the past. But yeah, we've had some really good youth players who are integral to our first team squad. So yeah, we can go one step better and say that yeah, our starting 11's always had a homegrown young player in its starting 11.
There's that really nice footage, isn't there, of Ella at the cliff, and I think she was like 10, 11 years old, that was going around social media not too long ago. And as you say, it's so important to keep that going for the girls. So in terms of your current role and the first team here at the club, we talked a little bit to Jason Wilcox last week about transfers. So I want to bring you onto that and find out how that works in the women's team. Is it quite similar process to the men's side?
Yeah, it's identical. And that's probably one of the big changes within the game, in that now what you're seeing, like you've seen this summer, £1 million transfer fees, agents are significant in the game as well. So yeah, the way we do the transfers is identical to the men. So we go through the same process that the club has. We work with the same director of negotiations in Matt Hargreaves. So yeah, everything is joined up, and it's 100% the same.
Mm-hmm. It's an interesting case study for you guys this summer, I guess. Within the realms of what, like almost the same as Jason Wilcox, within the realms of what you can tell us, Jess Park's arrival has been really helpful to the side, but happened quite late in the window, and it was sort of part of a swap deal in inverted commas. Can you explain sort of what went on there?
Yeah, I think what's important is that we understand what kind of team we want to be. And then when you understand that, you can then fit what kind of profile players will make that team more effective. And we've always identified Jess Parker as a player that has a profile that we think, and Jason would have talked about profiling of players is really important when you bring them in with the right personality and character. So Jess always fitted that. But obviously with the red and blue rivalry, moving players between the two teams is extremely difficult, stroke impossible. But again, going back to Helen's question, obviously, what we're doing now is renegotiating contracts a lot sooner because we want to retain our best players. Unfortunately, Grace wanted to move on. We couldn't, whatever we put in front, she didn't accept. So then it allowed us to actually, we don't want to lose Grace, but she wants to move on. Let's learn from the past and let players move on out free. But it also gives us leverage to go back to Manchester City and go, there's a player here that we think will suit our profile. Can we do a deal here? And that's how it sort of came around, really, in terms of like, yeah, just being able to understand what we want to get out of the deal that helps Manchester United.
Inside Carrington is presented by United Store, the official home of exclusive United merchandise.
welcome back. You'll notice that half time is always food time, right? Yeah, and so I hope you managed to get some snacks. We've got an absolutely beautiful spread here from Cafe Football here at Hotel Football. It's a brilliant place to come, you know, even if it's just before a game, if you get into Old Trafford, or even if there's not a game on, just to nip down here and really enjoy yourself. Great food, great drinks, really nice people as well. So yeah, really, really nice to be able to do it from here this evening. A little bit sad maybe that UEFA rules mean that we can't do it from inside the stadium, but if you can't do it from inside the stadium, make sure you've got nachos, chips, garlic bread, pizza and chipolatas. That's what I say. Yeah, about as good as it gets. The players are on the way back out at Old Trafford. My producer is saying, I hope there's no booze on this table. Well, I don't think he realised that the coffee cup that I had on here before was full of vodka. I don't know. It wasn't. I'm joking. It was an espresso martini. Right. Okay. So doesn't look like any changes immediately at half time from Manchester United. Although we are just going off the TV pictures here. So Simi Awujo's definitely back out. Can't see any changes so far. So maybe Mark Skinner's going to give this side another 15 minutes just to see whether they can continue the good form that they were showing through the middle part of that first half, Aoife.
Yeah, I think in the middle part of the first half and towards the end, United were the better team, and the goal was so unfortunate, albeit it was a really good strike from Carmona. So I can see why he doesn't want to make any abrupt or immediate changes, because before half-time the team were doing well.
Yeah, probably the better of the two teams, Dan.
Yeah, definitely possession-wise and controlling the game, it was United from sort of like 15 minutes onwards, excuse me. That's the good food coming through again, isn't it? Really, really nice.
I'm going to be staring at this all the way through the next 45 minutes. What we should actually do is just give it to the crew so they can all eat, because we're just sat here going to be staring at it. Just Noel apparently he's the only one that gets any food, according to the producer. Heidi on the other camera not very happy with that situation. I'm going to let them argue it out at a different stage. I'm not getting involved. Right, so back underway in this second half, and it's PSG now going towards the Stretford end, Manchester United defending the Stretford end. So just to remind you of the teams, no changes from either at half-time. So Safia Middleton-Patel is in goal for Manchester United as PSG into the penalty area. Opportunity may be coming here. That's a great effort. What a save! What a save! Safia Middleton-Patel sharply to her left, pushes it onto the post and away. Called into action, steps up to the mark. Really well done.
Yeah, intricate play just inside the box from PSG. Sharp 1-2, little Cruyff there, and it pushes it away. Nice strong arms onto the post. Goes out for a corner for PSG. Well done, Saf.
Just what the doctor ordered for Safia Middleton-Patel's confidence is the resulting corner, which is turned towards goal but cleared away by Gabby George, who's marshalling at right-sided centre-back during that corner. So Safia Middleton-Patel in goal, Sandberg, George, Letizia and Riviere, Hinata Miyazawa and Julia Zigiotti, Rolfer, Awujo, Jess Park and Melvin Mallard, the goal scorer for Manchester United, who's leading the line. This is the save from Safia Middleton-Patel. It is absolutely brilliant. As the shot comes in, lovely 1-2. The shot then finds the gloves of Safia Middleton-Patel, who gets high fives all round, and they're well deserved too. In terms of goalkeepers and confidence, a save like that really sort of puts you in a good mindset as you go through the second period, I guess, Aoife.
Yeah, massively, and I think that having those big moments in the game, and definitely when the whole team then turns to you and gives you a little pat, it really makes you feel 10 foot taller. I can only speak as a defender. If you put a tackle in and then the girls are like, well done, you sort of puff your chest out a bit and then you feel like a little bit more confident. And I think that Saf, as a young keeper who's coming into the footsteps of Fowl, who's out through a knock, those moments are so important. So I'm pleased that she's got one of them in. And outside of that, really, she's looked solid as well. So well done, Saf, so far.
Yeah, and nothing she could have done about the goal. Well, that's been given us a goal kick, has it?
Yeah, looking by the reaction.
I was going to say, I thought that maybe that had gone against Manchester United, but it hasn't. So United will have the goal kick and get it away. Moses says, would love to come to Old Trafford someday and feel the atmosphere. I hope you get to do that, because when Old Trafford is rocking, there is no better stadium in the country for me. Really excellent atmosphere on those big games, and certainly under the lights on these European nights it's absolutely brilliant. If you are wanting to get involved in the chat, then you can absolutely do so. You just need to be subscribed to the YouTube channel, and you will be able to enjoy getting involved with the chat. And if we get a really good comment from you, then we will certainly talk about it here on the sofa. So if you've got a talking point, something that you want to ask anybody, then please feel free to get subscribed and pop it into the chat as United bring the ball forward again. This PSG side seem to have changed their tactics, their shape, their formation quite a lot this season, as they've gone through the campaign. Is that helpful to a side, or would you rather be in a settled system?
I think at the extremes of that question, you get teams that will build their shape around getting the best personnel into the team, and then you'll get teams where the manager will decide the shape and then just fit players into that. And sometimes it's the players that bring the shape to life. So, for example, one of their captain, number 7, Kachui, she's playing as a left winger, but she likes to come inside, and really, I think sometimes she's underutilised on the wing. So in some games, you'll actually see her playing in midfield. So it's not always enough just to know what shape the team are playing with. You need to know the players that are involved. And I think that level of adaptability is actually a strength, and certainly when you're playing games thick and fast in a Champions League schedule, you can't do the same thing every week, and you can't play the same players every week. So I think it's a strength to be able to change.
I think there's also a degree of him trying to find the right formula. You know, that they've lost 2 games in the Champions League. And it's just trying to adapt and find that right formula. When you're losing games, that's when managers and coaches tend to make more changes to the system than when they're actually on a roll with the system that's working for them. So I think there's a degree of trying to find that right system with the individuals that it's got available.
It's interesting because, if Mark Skinner was here and I said the next thing that I'm going to say, he would give me a sideways glance. But bog standard, Manchester United have 2 ways of setting up, and that is the single pivot or the double pivot. So they either play 4-1-4-1 or they play 4-2-3-1. That is a drastic oversimplification of what happens within those formations, because even within the double pivot, there's 5 or 6 different ways that Manchester United can play against any side. And I think sometimes players don't quite get the credit that they deserve for being able to adapt to those systems depending on who the opposition are.
Yeah, massively. Back in the day, right, when I was just getting involved in the WSL, you'd go out and you'd just kind of be in the position that you were in, and you wouldn't really think too much. Whereas now when these girls will prep for a game, there might be 6 different formations throughout the week that in any phase of play they will have practiced. So for example, there's a formation when the goalkeeper has the ball, there's a formation when you're in what's called like settled possession, then there's a formation that you do when you're pressing the opposition goalkeeper, then there's a formation when you're in a mid-block, when that team, and just that alone is 4. So talking about things like a 4-2-3-1, or it can look very different 2 minutes apart. And I said earlier, PSG are in a 4-4-2, and then they didn't do it again for 10 minutes. So it's really hard without actually being inside the training ground of a team to know exactly what they're doing and why, and at certain times through the game. As you can tell, I find this fascinating.
No, and me too. And I think sometimes, I guess I'm thinking a little bit about Ruben Amorim here as well as Mark Skinner, in that people see your starting formation as a 3-4-2-1, and all they think is, it's 3 at the back, or it's 5 at the back. And actually, if you were to watch the game and map out the shape of any side over the course of 90 minutes, you'd be able to see that those positions change depending on game state.
And that's football. Football is a fluid game, and as I say, that one moment in time, it can be 4-2-3-1, and then the next minute you could end up with 5 at the back. You know, it's so fluid. That is the nature of football. And I think one of the phrases that I picked up during the coaching is sometimes you've got to take the number off your back. You know, what position are you actually in? You may you may be starting as a left back, but all of a sudden, it's like in the first half, Rolfo was seen across on the right-hand side. You've got to take the number off your back, and then it was Innie who went across and covered on the left-hand side there. It's taking the number off your back and actually realising where the danger is.
Jess Park again has won that brilliantly, knocks it into a bit of space. I think Melvin Mallon might just have strayed offside, but the flag stays down. It's going to go behind for a
gone offside,
corner. Well, Jess Park has been flattened in the process as well. But again, Jess Park finds these pockets of space so well, steals the ball on halfway, finds a way to poke that ball through to Melvin Mallon. But for me, it's that awareness that she has. That's the time to jump. That's the time to press. She nicks the ball away, and that's what gets Manchester United on the move again, Aoife.
Yeah, massively. And an area of United's game that they really get rhythm and flow from is winning the ball back high up the pitch. And I think that Mark places a premium on players that can do that for him. And Jess Park is someone that has definitely slotted into the team. And how many times in this game tonight have we saw her do that? Win the ball off from a loose pass or someone who's dribbling, and then go immediately and attack into the space and dribble and create an opportunity.
And going back to your point earlier, Liam, how she's not as tall as she actually looks on the TV, but her upper body strength is so good. And the way she uses her body to shield the ball, that's why she's so good at running with the ball, because she actually shields that ball so well.
It has actually been given as a free kick to Manchester United for the foul on Jess Park. So if you're wondering whether it was an indirect free kick for offside or had gone for a corner, neither of those. It's a free kick to United. And again, it's sort of from what we would call the half space. It's maybe 30 yards from goal, and it's going to be Anna Sandberg that's going to deliver. Just floats it towards the back post, a little bit too much on it. Fairly easy for Mary Ertz to pluck that out of the sky. You can sort of see what the intention was. It's that, can I stand it up to the back post and allow some players to run onto the end of it?
Yeah, I think she wanted to just loft it a little bit more. Like if you just get your foot under the ball a bit more, then it kind of spins up and hangs in the air. But when it's quicker, and sometimes things are seen as better when it's quicker, but when it's quicker, it makes it easier for the keeper to come out and just get it. Anna's a really good set piece taker, and you can see her favourite type of cross and set piece is probably that whipped ball. So I think she's definitely one to watch as the game goes on if there is other opportunities for free kicks.
I can tell you that the attendance tonight, 14,578, and just to give you an idea of how good that is, United really pushed this one, but it's 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night, on a school night. It's absolutely pouring down, and just a little bit of a difficult game to get to. So well done to everybody that's managed to get themselves down to Old Trafford this evening, and hopefully the game that you're seeing will give you a real, a bit of a buzz, and you've been able to bring your kids, and maybe you've given them a night off going to bed at their normal bedtime, so they get to come and watch this game, and I think it's well worth it. And hopefully this is just the beginning. As we heard Matt Johnson say to us in the podcast, like the end goal is to be filling Old Trafford for games like this, and wouldn't that be absolutely fantastic as we go through this. 1-1, 56 minutes played. If you would like to get involved, we would love to hear from you. The way to do that, subscribe to the Manchester United Women's YouTube channel and get involved in the chat. Any questions that you've got, anything that you'd like us to talk about, we would love to hear from you, even if it's just to let us know where you're watching from. I think we've absolutely smashed the 16 countries into the ground tonight, so I think we're up to sort of 25 or something like that, so well done. Right, what do you think is going through Mark Skinner's mind now? Because we're at 57 minutes, we're getting almost into that window of substitutions. Where do you think he'll go to first? What do you think he'll look to change?
If Tooney's fit, I think you've got to bring Tooney on. I think he's just made for those half spaces there. That is what Tooney's best at. She's the best in the country at it, and I just think it's made to get her on. As I say, I think it's 60 minutes. I think that's Simi's first game. They'll have been looking, I think, from the outset. Can we get a good 60 minutes out of her? Not possibly, we're getting on top, dominating the ball. But if you're looking at gaining the ball higher up or looking to turn it over on transition, then possibly you may look at Leah on the left-hand side. which we all know the strengths of Leah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And
hang on a second, just a sec, because Jess Park finds Anna Sandberg. Cross comes in, chance here. Oh,
yes! Get in!
Hit the front. That's brilliant. And it's Fridolina Rolfer again in the Champions League, using that brilliant experience that she's got, and nods past Mary Earps, who can only smash the ball back downfield. What a cross. And we were talking, weren't we, about just how important Anna Sandberg was going to be, delivering from that left-hand side. It comes in, bang. Brilliant header, unmarked inside the penalty area.
But again, the creativity of Jess Park, look at this, just fantastic. The timing, the weight of the pass is just tremendous. Bang, draws a defender in, sits it up brilliantly, and the finish, she's really nailed that with the head. So the weight of the pass there from Jess Park is just tremendous.
Yeah, it just really sets it up in Anna's path for that first time cross, and Mary's really committed to her front post, goes over her head. Beautiful header from Rolfer. And I mean, we were just talking before the goal, what was Mark Skinner going to do? And now it's like the playbook's been ripped up. It'll be something totally different. I think this is exactly the response that Mark and the girls will have spoken about and wanted at half-time. And how often do you actually get that perfect response after half-time? And now the ball is in PSG's court. They have to come out and do something.
So I was asking you in the first half whether you try and pick somebody out in the penalty area or whether you just try and put it into good areas. Is that the opposite of the rule, where you've only got one person to pick out in the penalty area, and she's absolutely picked that cross?
And I think Aoife did actually allude to the variety of crosses, though, is sitting them up at the back post. If you're generally sitting up to the back post, you're looking for somebody that you're picking out there as well. And they say it's an exception to the rule, but the rule's there to be broken anyway, isn't it? Let's break the rules, and she definitely broke the rule with that one. It was a great cross.
Yeah, brilliant. Jess Park is phenomenal, says Krishna. What was City thinking? I've absolutely no idea, but we are very, very grateful for it. Walking into work on Thursday morning here in Sydney. Jim, thank you very much for bringing us with you on your morning walk. I bet you it's a bit of a nicer day in Sydney than it is here in Manchester, because it has been miserable all day long. It says glory, glory, Man United, and then Frida. Yeah, absolutely. She's been brilliant, hasn't she? Just the experience that she brings and the ability that she's got. Jorge Oliver Valenzuela says Park is fantastic. Yep. Top Shelf says keep it going, need another. Blazing Zari says let's get that third. Another one here that says nice to see Aoife Mannion with us. Yeah, it's always nice to have Aoife with us on these watch-alongs. A little bit of a joy for all of us to sit here and gain that experience, especially somebody that's been so close to this squad. Gives us a real sense of what's happening. Forced another really good save out of Mary Earps in the meantime, and it's Melvin Mallard that's forced her down to her left-hand side to turn it round the post for a corner, which Manchester United are just about to take. And Wahida says Park, what a player. It's a good save. It's a good save from Mary, and Melvin Mallard's gone near post. There, I suppose, would be an argument from somebody to say maybe you should have gone far post. That's not what happened, and Mary Earps has got down well to it.
Yeah, I think, it's now foot to the throat time. You've got that advantage. They've given the ball away. You've got them penned in their half. It really is now trying to kill that game off, get that third goal so they can't come back into it. And as I said, it's just the pressure now that United are putting on, and PSG are giving the ball away, as happened again then.
I think if you're the PSG coach, you're doing the exact same thing that we were talking about what Mark might be doing just before they scored, is how are you going to be able to bring people on, fresh legs on, to change this game? And probably the most obvious person on PSG's bench is Kanjinga. Their number 30, she scored a quarter of their goals this season, and I think it'll either be a like-for-like swap with Lukta, their number 9, or she might come on as a wing player, but we'll definitely see her, and she'll be another player that's similar to Ajibade out on the wing, that really likes those kind of 1v1 type duels, quite awkward, quite direct, quite physical. And I think as this game goes on, and PSG really start to go for the result, it will become more and more direct and more transitional.
And I think that'll play into United's hands, definitely. And that's why I think fresh legs at the 60, 70 minute mark will actually, I think, play into United's hands as the game opens up there. If you get the likes of Leah on and the likes of Tooney running into those spaces. And it's a limited bench in numbers wise, but it's a quality bench that United have actually got. They've got some great players to actually bring on there.
I've been taken to task about describing the Manchester weather as miserable. Thomas says, miserable? Manchester weather is the best in the world. Can't wait to be home in a couple of weeks. I love it in the Manchester rain. Okay, Thomas, whatever you say. Blazing Zari says, no doubt that Park's the signing of the season so far. And Joseph says, watching from Vancouver, Canada, let's go Manchester United. Well, Canadians having a big impact in this game so far. We are getting the first of the changes, and it's almost like Aoife Mannion knew what was going to happen, because you've called it, and there it is, Kamjinga onto the field.
Yeah, she's obviously just come on, but she's not come on for a position that I thought she was going to come on for. So she's come on for their attacking midfielder, when actually she's more of an end player. She's more of someone who plays as a striker, and for me that tells me that they're going to PSG are going to go with two up top now, and they're really going to be looking to go direct where they can. So look out for their number 30, Kamjinga.
Do you think that'll be more of a 4-4-2, or how do you think that'll end up looking for PSG?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, when you have three in midfield but one of them goes really high, it will look like a 4-4-2 anyway. But either way, we're going to see more threats on United's back line.
We might get Aoife's tactics board out again in a minute so she can show us exactly what's going on. It's nice to have a visual aid. Meanwhile, United leading by 2-1. They have had one of the best defences in the WSL this season. They also have only conceded, this is the first time they've conceded in the Champions League proper. Went through qualifying barely conceding as well. They have had a magnificent defence that has obviously been aided by a world-class goalkeeper in Fallon Tullis-Joyce, who isn't playing tonight. But I suppose that United will now be looking at this and going, we have the capability of keeping PSG out over the course of the next 25 minutes and going on to win this game, Claire.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think they've been very, very solid. When we talked at the beginning of the programme of two changes in the back five is a significant number to change in a back five that's played so well. But you can't tell there's been any changes. That it's been seamless. Yeah. You know, Saf's done well. Gabby George has been excellent. Maya has been a normal, composed self, leading the back line brilliantly. I think the other thing that has impressed me is Simi has come out second half and has actually had some impact on the game, which has been good for her and good for the team. She's actually, I think, grown into the game a little bit more in this second half, which is pleasing to see, because I thought she was probably going to get the hook at half time, but credit to her, she's done really, really well.
Toonami 10 has been back on. Says, I'm going to get Aoife Mannion on the back of my shirt on Sunday, and then says, come on United, I guess. But technically, you know, you could still be talking about Newcastle United, couldn't you? So, all right, well, I see what you've done there. We'll let you get away with it. DJ Darkest Night's been back on, says, Aoife will be a great manager when she hangs up her boots, as Jess Park takes a shot from just inside the edge of the penalty area. Simi Awujo! Oh, what an opportunity. Squared it across, and the Canadian hits it right-footed, just too close to Mary Earps. What an effort that could have been.
Yeah, a great run again from Jade Riviera. I thought she was going to get brought down, but she did really well to evade the tackle. Played it inside to Jess Park, and Jess Park laid it off to Simi, who got a shot on target, and Mary Earps had quite a comfortable save, realistically.
Yeah, Simi ended up snatching at it. I think it was one of them where you don't realise how good of an opportunity you have until you've kind of scuffed it.
United have won the ball back again, high up the field. PSG just struggling to find a reliable shape at the minute. United finding it much easier to keep pressure on the ball and really cause problems. And you can see Maya pushed right up into sort of a defensive midfield role, and that's keeping Miyazawa higher. And now you've got Ziggy able to get on the ball on the edge of the penalty area and can deliver into the box. There have been subtle tactical tweaks from Mark Skinner at half-time that have really sort of done Manchester United a favour.
Yeah, and then, sorry, Claire.
Yeah, go on.
United score, PSG now have to go after it, and I think they're starting to look a little bit disorganised when they lose the ball, and that's just creating so much space for players like Jess Park to pick up the ball and dribble and drive. And it really looks almost counterintuitive that PSG have made their sub, but United are in more of a flow than ever, really.
And I think the double pivot of Hinney and Zigotti is working really, really well now. I think that's really controlling the game and actually then giving the spaces for the forward players to get into those gaps in between the lines. It really is looking very, very controlled at this moment.
I wonder, Rifa, whether you can, maybe I'm asking something that you don't know the answer to here, but we talk about single pivot or double pivot, and maybe that's not something that's been explained particularly well. Can you sort of give us an idea of why the pivot terminology exists?
So, a pivot in layman's words basically means like a holding midfielder. So if you're looking at the pitch, it's the midfielder that's closest to the back line. And if we were looking at this tactics board that has been nicely put here earlier.
Absolutely. Show us on the tactics board.
In this instance, the pivot would be the player that's just behind their pressing striker. And really what you're not doing, you're not running towards the ball in the way that other midfielders, you say, drop down the line. So they might start high and come down. Actually, the position of this player is so important, and they're there really to keep the opposition attackers honest. And what I mean by that is, if this player stays here, i.e. the pivot, then the 9 has to be really wary of where that player is, and also this player can't really jump out because it will leave a gap. So you kind of create corridors of space for the centre halves to start to step, and it really adds a level of flow to what the centre back can do on the ball. What really annoys me as a centre back on the ball is when this player runs across your line. So when you talk about a pivot, it's a holding midfielder that is like more positionally based. They've kind of been told, stay in the middle of the pitch. You don't need to run around, and then let other creative players like your Simmies or your Jess Parks come and move and get on the ball. It's a really difficult position. It's probably the most intelligent position on the pitch, maybe in line with the number 10. But it's a really, really high level position that not many people can play.
And that's why I think Hinney does it. And again, I know you're an NFL fan, but it's the quarterback dictating. Yeah. You know, it's the quarterback dictating.
That makes sense. I'm going to keep you on the tactics board, Aoife, because we've just had a change, and that's Ella Toon who's come on for Simi Arujo. So I wonder whether using the tactics board, you can sort of explain what now happens with Toon on the field, as well as Jess Park and Jade Riviere on the right-hand side, because all of a sudden this now changes, if Manchester United are comfy in possession, exactly how they go about things. So if there's any chance that you could sort of...
You're stretching me.
I am, but only because I know you can do it.
You've got it in your locker.
So,
you've got it in your locker.
Glenn's watching on being like, will she know what to say?
She's got it in her locker.
So you get the opposition, they've got a back line, and let's say they've got a midfield line that might look, let's say like a 4-4-2, like this. So we've just said you've got a pivot here, and then you've got 2 midfielders here. Now with the player like Tooney, what we say, she likes to play in the pocket. It's a really positionally minded position. But when people say the pocket, what they mean is in the space in between the opposition fullback, centre back, winger or right midfielder, and the midfielder. So she will just hold here. She'll let the ball go out to the fullback, and she won't bite too quickly. She'll kind of maybe let the ball go to the winger, and then just at that right time, she will be in that space. But you won't see her just darting towards the ball. If I played in that position, for example, as a centre half, you'd just get drawn to the ball, but it's really hard to keep your position. And it's positioning that's called between the lines, because it's like a defending line and then also a midfield line. And that's what she does really, really well, especially on that left side.
And here's where it gets a little, as the ball comes into the penalty area from PSG. Here's where it gets really complicated when you're Manchester United, is that Mark loves to play a pair of pocket 10s. So Mark Skinner thinks, actually, I'm going to try and take advantage of those pockets on either side of the field. Can't do that straight away because you're obviously playing a 4-2-3-1. But that's where if Jade Riviere, who gets high on that right-hand side, it allows Jess Park to roll into that second space. So you've got your main striker and then you've got your 2 10s. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And what's so hard then is that you ask a massive question of the fullback. Usually the winger's your player, so usually you get told always keep yourself in a position where you're in between the winger and the goal because the winger has to go through you to get to the goal. But what happens when the winger comes in here? You can't just as a fullback start running in because obviously the ball would go to Jade and she'd just run down the line and then all of a sudden you've lost loads of territory. So it really asks a question of the fullback, how much should they follow in, and what you'll get is then these really nice 2v1s, and I think that's what United have done so well and how they end up being in really good crossing positions because they manage to, fancy words, occupy the opposition back line with 5 players. So you've got your 9, your striker, you've got a fullback on one side, a winger, and then 2 10s where one of the 10s is made up of an inverted winger. That was a mouthful, sorry.
No.
I hope that hasn't bored anyone too much.
That worked brilliantly, but there's been a couple of changes for PSG that I need to bring you. So Ajibade and Grunen have both left the field. I think it was Gilbert that's come on.
Yeah.
And was it Graziani, the other one? I think it was the number 21 Graziani that's also on as well. Right, there you go. It's on your screen now. So I didn't even need to try and remember because there it is. Look, Gilbert and Diakite onto the field. Brilliant stuff. Again, this feels very much, Glenn, like PSG reaching to try and find a solution to the problem that Manchester United are causing, and that is a brilliant position to be in if you're Mark Skinner, that actually what you've got is an opposing coach scrambling to try and solve the puzzle that's in front of him.
Yeah, and for the last 5 minutes they have actually gained a little bit of momentum, but again, United on the counter. I think this is where United can take advantage here because they're I think into a little bit of chaos really. The shape is very difficult to read. There's seems to be a lot of players forward and a lot of players back, nothing in the middle. The shape seems to have gone a little bit, but hopefully United can get the opportunity to take advantage, and it's a recent opportunity just missed out there. I think just building on what Aoife said about Tooney as well, what Tooney brings, where she sits in that pocket, as Aoife alluded to, is not going to the ball, but she can also stretch the defence when she makes an in-to-out run. So from inside the pitch out to the wide to draw the players out. And I think if you keep an eye out for that, that is what Tooney is so good at.
Right, double change for Manchester United. We'll bring that to you in a second. But it looks like it's going to be Fridolina Rolfo and Melvin Malar who leave the field and going to be replaced by Leah Galton, and the second change will be Elizabeth Turland. Goodness me, that is a terrifying pair of substitutions, isn't it? They certainly haven't weakened that Manchester United side in any way, shape or form. Terry Turland, who will absolutely keep the pressure on the goalkeeper, on the back four, and Leah Galton, one of the most powerful runners in the WSL. When she's in full flight, so difficult to stop.
And credit to Mallard. I think she's done a great job up there, not isolated, but she's worked their back line really well, really well. And when you go back to the goal that she scored, that's the French captain that she actually bullied off the ball basically and then smashed it into the net. So, but again, bringing Leah on, I think just brings also that added strength and pace. If PSG are going to be and try and push on for that equaliser, the counter-attack option for United is great down that left-hand side.
Giulia Zigliotti just stretching a little into that tackle and is going to be penalised with the free kick. Other live scores currently ongoing in the Champions League: Atletico Madrid 1, Juventus 2, Benfica 1, FC Twente 1. FC Twente 1, not Twente Von. That would be weird. DJ Darkest Night. I've been on. Dearie me, it's late. I've been on a lot of male Manchester United channels today, trying to persuade our fans to watch the game. I know a lot of my season ticket holding Manchester United men's first team friends are watching this game this evening. Even some of them down here watching the game tonight. One of my best friends was here before, came into Hotel Football to say hello, and he's brought his entire family with him. So really, really good news. 15,000 inside Old Trafford tonight. JPS says, if our girls hold this lead, it'll be a massive statement win. Beyond proud of how far this club has come since 2018. And Alicia says, they're really dominating and I'm enjoying it live. Yeah, look, I don't blame you at all. This 2023-2024, wasn't it? October 2023, where Manchester United lost over 2 legs to PSG. Did really well away, 1-1 at Lee, wasn't it, the home leg. Unfortunately, the away leg sort of ran away, lost 3-1. A real progression of this Manchester United side from that game to what we're seeing week in, week out now, I think.
It's evolution, not revolution, isn't it? That's the standard phrase, and I think year on year, United as a women's team has grown and grown and grown, you know, and credit to the club, you know, it keeps on growing. I know there's been some bad press about the support for the women's team, but it's not, it's there, it's supporting the team.
Leah Galton causing all sorts of problems down the left-hand side. She had absolutely no right to reach that, let alone reach it and get a semi-decent cross over the top of Mary Earps, and very nearly fell to Jess Park too. Maybe, you know, when we're talking about the starting 11 for United earlier on, and we were all sort of looking at it going, oh, I wonder what's going on, and I wonder why we've gone with Simi Awujo rather than Ella Toon. I wonder why Leah Galton's not starting. I wonder why Elizabeth Turland isn't starting. We're now starting to see the reason why Mark Skinner decided to play the game this way round, where he almost feels like PSG will blow themselves out. They work really hard, almost too hard, and are now struggling to keep tabs on some of these Manchester United players.
Yeah. No, and as I say, I think he alluded to in his pre-match briefing, great covering from Gabby George there. Great covering that. She had a really good game, hasn't she, Gabby?
Yeah,
you know,
she's done so well.
Really, really well. No, I think Mark alluded to it at the beginning of in his pre-match conference about, you know, they've got a string of games. Obviously, they lost to Villa at the weekend. We changed the side again. He's got Man City on Saturday. You know, so there's literally 2 days recovery. So it is about managing it, and so far so good. You know, credit to Mark on that one.
Producer Heidi's been in touch. Says Mark said when he brought Leah on against Atletico, it was to replicate what she did against City last season defensively. Yeah, I think that's right. Actually, Leah Galton, her ability to play in multiple positions is actually one of her strengths.
Yeah.
She's so good at getting forward, but equally, when you need her to do a job as an under or an overlapping left back, if there is such a thing, she's capable of doing that as well.
Good one-to-one defender, isn't she? You know.
Yeah, she's quite all-rounded. She is annoying in that she is very good at a lot of things, and then her one amazing skill is her physicality and her ability to push and run with the ball and really kind of break past players. But often when you get a player that's really good at one thing, then everything else is average. But that's not the case with Leah. She's so good off the ball as well. Obviously, we can just see her on the screen there. And sometimes what you don't realise as a fan maybe, but you notice it on the pitch as a player, is that sometimes the work of a winger off the ball is just shepherding the ball into the right area. It's not always about making big, massive tackles. And it's something that when you play with Lee, you really appreciate that she does that. She's really good at executing the game plan, really good at shepherding the ball into the wide areas where United get asked to put pressure and win it back. And she does it so well and kind of so seamlessly, and then obviously brings her attacking play into the throws when it's also required. So a very, very good player, and probably underappreciated, I would say, across the league, because obviously she doesn't play nationally through her own choice.
I think the other thing
I won't bring up City again, by the way, from last season. I'm sorry for doing that. It was a bit harsh, wasn't it?
But I think what I saw when we was working with Leah also, she's naturally left-footed, but the work she's put in to actually improve her right foot as well is, you know, she is now an all-round two-footed player.
Anna Sandberg just holding on to her left calf here, and I just wonder whether this is a case of rising damp for Anna Sandberg, who was really put a shift in tonight and has put a shift in almost every game this season. So yeah, maybe just struggling a little bit with cramp, but it might just give an opportunity for everybody to take a little breather here. Yeah, she's been absolutely fantastic, hasn't she? Just whilst we're on Leah Galton.
Yes.
Feels to me, and again, looking at this from the outside in, that she's kind of the epitome of a confidence player. If you can get her in the right mindset, she is absolutely unstoppable.
Aoife and I was having a conversation at half-time about Leah and sort of saying if she's confident and full of it, then she's absolutely unplayable. And she had 2 seasons where she was unplayable, you know. And I think it was Phil Neville, who was the manager at England at the time. He was desperate to get her into the setup. And as Aoife said, her own choice, she didn't want to commit to that. But she was unplayable. She was the best left footer in the league by a mile. and it was because she was so confident and so full of it. And again, hopefully she's now over the injuries and can actually push on this season, because she is one hell of a player.
Just going to take a little look here at the live table for the Women's Champions League, because I have a funny feeling this might move Manchester United
top four. Yeah, be the top four, aren't they? Yeah. Which is it? I think top four is like the men's, isn't it? Top four, they get seeded, don't they? I think.
Yeah, so current scores, this would move Manchester United third, 9 points, 3 wins from 3 games. The only 2 sides ahead of them would be Lyon and Barcelona. Now, if you're going to be behind any 2 sides in European women's football, those are the 2 that you would expect to be behind. And on goal difference, essentially. So Manchester United's goal difference is a +3 as it stands. With 7 minutes of this game left to go, and Jade Riviere back in defending. That's a bit of a wild swipe. Jade Riviere goes down, free kick is United's, and Jade Riviere grins.
Is Lyon the next to last game United have got? I think, haven't they?
Yes. So they've got Wolfsburg and Lyon.
Yeah.
I mean, what an absolutely god-awful group phase that was. When we looked at it, we were all like, oh no, look at some of the teams that Manchester United have got to play, and we're potentially looking at, you know, if it stays this way, 3 wins from 3 and confidence.
Yeah, and I think 3 wins from 3, I think nigh on guarantees top 8, just about. I think they're pretty good. And if they get another one, then great. You know, Wolfsburg are there for the taking, I think.
That's Wednesday at 5:45, by the way, Wolfsburg, next Wednesday. We'll be with you for that one as well. So if you would like to join us again on these watch-alongs, it would be great to have you. Keep those comments coming in. Make sure you subscribe. Keep them coming in the chat, because they're really helpful. 5 minutes left to go.
Ziggy, I think
there was a cry from my left-hand side. I was concerned about somebody's well-being, but I think we're okay. I don't think there's been anything catastrophic.
I'm just saying, I don't think you can speak highly enough for Ziggy Otter and Hinnie's job in midfield there. I think they've been immense today. I think they really have.
LJ Moran has just told me off. Only thing worse than the commentator's curse is the curse of looking at a live table. I apologise. Absolutely apologise. I won't do it again. What's the solution? Once you've committed the crime, is there a way to uncommit the crime? Can I
do and score a 3rd goal?
Yeah, that would be perfect. If we could make that happen, if we can speak that into existence, that would be great. Gaston says, let's find the 3rd goal, Manchester United. And Jeff says, watching from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I would love to visit Green Bay, Wisconsin. I always watch the NFL games, Green Bay Packers and Lambeau Field, and just think, as it gets to midwinter there and it's like 40 below and the snow's coming in sideways, maybe I should visit in the summer rather than the winter. United doing well, but PSG have got a corner late in the game, lead by 2-1, and now it's all about concentration and commitment as the ball is put in towards the back post, comes all the way through the area, nobody makes any contact, and behind it goes, and United will be pleased to watch that ball behind for another goal kick. Do you get nervy at the end of games, or is it absolute business at this stage?
Maybe a little bit of both. I mean,
I think it's the sidelines. You definitely do, don't you? You know, on the sidelines.
Yeah.
So you're out of control. You're down to the players. The players stay focused, do their job. I think that's where it's at. I think if anything, it's the ones on the side, the coaches, who are actually willing it to finish as such, really. But the players generally, I think, are focused on doing their job, aren't they?
yeah, and I think maybe like 85 minutes onwards, your mentality, you do start to think about game management. Yeah. So you start to think about maybe making less riskier passes, maybe playing for territory.
Thumped clearance, screws off the boot of Maya. Letizier's shot comes in and it's blocked brilliantly by Jade Riviere.
Great block.
I was just about to say, start having a little think, you two, about who might be your player of the match for Manchester United, but regardless of who you pick, Jade Riviere has got to be in contention for that tonight, because she's been absolutely ubiquitous, I believe the phrase is, absolutely everywhere, and just what Manchester United need. Another corner for PSG is put into the back post, which is nodded down and behind for a Manchester United goal kick, and it's good defending again. Everybody picking up their players, making sure that they guard their zones. We're going to have a look at the Jade block actually, so you can see exactly why we all why we all went, yeah, great block. Look at Jade Riviere, gets across here, bang, puts that block in. No, it's perfect, Aoife.
It's perfect emergency defending where you just get your body across the ball and keep the ball out of the net any way possible. And it's brilliant to see a player that brings so much to the team going forward with Jade can also do it on the flip side. And it really kind of epitomises, I think, what Mark is looking for from his players. You've got to be as good off the ball as you are on the ball.
Let me tell you that the first 85 minutes of this game absolutely flew by. Felt like about 10 minutes. And the last 2 minutes and 55 seconds feel like they've taken a lifetime. Goodness me, I'm already stressed. I can feel myself, I've tensed up on the sofa. Jade, player of the match for me, man, says DJ Darkest Night. Espiones was worried about Saf starting, but she's doing well. I agree. John Newton says Riviere is smashing this. Big Bad Bob says watching from sunny St Helens, 25 miles from greatness. Come on, you Reds. We are... 25 miles from St Helens and 2 minutes plus stoppages away from Manchester United taking another 3 points in the Champions League here. But concentration definitely required because PSG have not given up on this one just yet, and with a 1-goal margin, anything can happen. Turland looking to hold the ball up, takes the contact, wins the free kick, and it's very clever forward play.
That worked from Hinnie when she won that ball and used that. I mean, I'm trying to narrow it down. I've got 4 that I'm thinking about player of the match. There's been so many good performances. I'll throw my 4 in that I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about Jess Park, obviously. I think she's done really, really well. I think Gabby George to come in and do her job there, I think has done really, really well. And then the midfield too, I think Innie and Ziggy Otti have been immense. And that's putting my 4 in. Moving away from Jade, because somebody's obviously already put her in the hat.
Yeah, she's in the hat. Yeah. She's in the hat. Jess Parker's left the field to be replaced by Rachel Williams. And I tell you what, if you need a player to put a shift in for you for 4 minutes at the end of a game...
You won't want to see her coming on at 89 minutes.
Rachel Williams is the one, isn't she?
Yeah.
No, if I was Almeida, the French centre-back, watching her come on, she just gets better with age, Rach.
Yes. Like a fine wine. I ended up in a conversation with her and Mark this week in the Manchester United training ground, and she was talking about playing for United's under-21s while she was just getting some match minutes in. She was talking about turning a bad ball into a good ball. And I'd never really heard of it like that, but basically it's the long ball over the top, and being physical and running around and working hard might turn a bad ball, in inverted commas, into a goal scoring opportunity. And I thought that just sort of epitomises Rachel Williams for me. All effort, all action, and that can pay dividends.
And she's done that all her career, and that's what she's renowned for, is that work off the ball to make that bad ball into a good ball. That's what she's renowned for, and the back post headers.
Yeah, working extraordinarily hard.
Brilliant. Sandberg is again. There's so many good performances tonight, isn't it? You know, it's really difficult.
It's so hard to pick.
I think I'm going to pass the book to you, Aoife.
I mean, everyone that there's so many players that you could pick, and everyone that you've said, I agree with. The people that came immediately to my mind are Jess Park, that quality and finesse on the ball. I like the Gabby suggestion, but Anna, for me, she's the name that keeps coming up and up. And then also, let's not forget Melvin's first goal.
Really
so much quality. It's really, really, really hard to pick. Really
I tell you
hard
what,
to pick.
give us an idea in the chat, will you? If you're subscribed to the Manchester United Women's YouTube channel, just put who you think deserves player of the match in the chat, and maybe you'll be able to give us a little bit of a steer, because we're finding it really, really difficult to pick. So maybe if you can help us out, that would be absolutely brilliant. Solid performance from all the girls tonight, but the standout has been Jess Park, says David. Coleraine watching from Cincinnati, Ohio. Who else have we got? Abby, stay strong and focused, ladies. Michael watching from Canada. Jade Riviere, my player of the game. Go Canada. Rachel Williams is currently bodying French defenders all over the place.
That was brilliant.
Just smashing away through like a cannonball.
Head to head there, Rachel.
She's just fantastic, but does it with just such good vibes all of the time as well.
No malice.
No. Just enjoying playing football, and it's great. Right, come on. Let's have the messages in the chat. Who is Manchester United's player of the game today. We are really struggling to pick one. We need your help. So if you can help us out, that'd be absolutely brilliant. We are 2 minutes in to 4 added on at the end of the game. And I said that the last 2.5 minutes had taken forever to go by. This is feeling like an eternity at the minute. Rachel Williams again underneath that header and still running, still putting herself about, still making life difficult. And as we get towards the closing stage, I think there. Is that handball that's been given against Elizabeth Turner potentially for hassling and harrying? I think it just catches her hand on the way down. And again, United choosing Melvine Mellard because they knew that they were going to have to be quick on the transition. They knew that they needed a player up front in the beginning part of this game that had sprinting capability, that was basically the faster of the two. And, you know, Melvine just a little bit quicker than Elizabeth Turner is. But perfect player to bring on, Elizabeth Turner, when you are needing to keep pressure on the ball late in the game.
I mean, it's the best type of headache that a manager can have when you've got so many good players at your disposal. And of course, there are going to always be people that are disappointed. That was a tackle on Tooney then, a foul.
How is that not foul?
Look at Rachel there. Oh, just tremendous.
Absolutely brilliant from Rachel Williams. It's just busy. She's just really busy as she possibly can be.
And the experience came in there. She was looking to buy the free kick or get the throw in. She shielded the ball really well, used her body well, bullied the girl off the ball and got the throw in that just wasted another few seconds for United. Absolutely brilliant.
I'm going to just get my pen and paper out here because we've had a lot of votes. So I'm just going to see if I can get an idea. Jess Park is obviously Jade Riviere is one. It looks like it's between those two. It's either Jess Park or Jade Riviere is what the chat on the YouTube channel is saying. But Anna Sandberg has got to be in there too, surely. Oh, it's such a difficult decision.
And
such a difficult decision.
We've not mentioned the skipper. She's gone about her job tremendously again, hasn't she? You know, it's another 7, 8 out of 10 from Maya, isn't it? You know, it's brilliant.
Tackles flying in all over the place. 90 seconds of the game left to go. This is where Manchester United will just be a little bit aware of what happened at the end of the first half. They'll need to make sure they stay concentrated. Don't want to be giving the ball away at this late stage. And in fact, they do the opposite. And it's Anna Sandberg again, who has been just Energizer Bunny all day long. It's Leah Galton out attacking down the left-hand side. She has just had so much energy as the game has gone on. Really, really important for Manchester United.
He'll be a very proud manager tonight because he's got the team selection right, which a lot of people, including myself, would have looked at it and thought, but credit to him. You know, he'll be very proud of the performance of the whole team tonight.
Yeah. Absolutely agreed. Right, into the final 60 seconds. Safia should be in there as well, says Thomas. She's been brilliant standing in for Fallon. I absolutely agree. And look,
shall we give it the team?
Yeah. Maybe we just say there is no player of the match tonight and we just give it to the squad. Because, in fact, maybe we just give it to Aoife for being great over the course of the watch-along.
Best supporter.
Yeah. So difficult to choose. So difficult to choose. Right, okay, final 10 seconds of Manchester United just holding on for the final part of this one. Ball pumped long by PSG, headed clear by Gabby George. Bouncing ball is picked up by Elizabeth Turner, who's back and defending, going to be cleared away by Jade Riviere. Gets it up to halfway, where it's picked up. Still not over yet. We are past the 6 minutes added on. That is full time. No, not full time. It's a foul and a free kick.
Got to be
for Manchester United. The referee comes over to check on Jade Riviere, who I think is another one suffering from the efforts that have been put in. It's sore, isn't it, when you get cramp in a game? I don't think people understand really just how painful it can be.
Yeah, playing full-back for United will do that to you. It's such a physically demanding position, and I don't think it's a coincidence that Jade and Anna are maybe struggling with cramp. They're exerting so much energy that it makes sense, and it's hard because it's not really enough generally to need to be subbed off for. You just have to keep going, but you feel like you can't push through the ground or else your leg is kind of going to give out on you. So keep going, the girls. They're doing so well.
Toon picks it up in midfield and finds the run of Hinata Miyazawa, who's charging into the centre third. We are now 1 minute and 10 seconds over the 6 added on at the end of the game, and ball still coming down channels. Gabby George sticks this one out into the stands. Referee, whistle in mouth. Manchester United take another 3 points from the group phase of the Champions League. What a performance that is from Mark Skinner's side. They deserve all of the plaudits they're getting from the 15,000 people inside. Look, there is no superlatives to explain just how good that performance is from Manchester United. They have been forced to work their socks off, and they've been well up to the challenge.
Best team by a country mile, in my opinion. The first 10 minutes, PSG came at them, which you'd expect. They obviously then had a go at Saf with a standing goalkeeper as such, but United overcame that and have dominated the game and have been superb to a player, absolutely superb. Back to front. I don't think anybody's put a foot wrong. I was a bit critical of Simi in the first half, but she came out second half. First 15 minutes did make an impact on the game. The subs have come on and made an impact, or the game changers, whatever you want to call them there. But a fantastic performance. And as I said earlier, Mark will be so proud of them. That was probably one of his highlights, I would think, as a Man United manager.
Yeah, just looking at pictures of Mary Earps leaving the field sort of with that cross head shake as she's leaving, because believes that, maybe things could have gone differently, but I'm not sure they could have. I think Manchester United were the better side by a distance.
Yeah, Man U were the better side, and to think of how far this team has come from their last time they played PSG 2 years ago in the Champions League qualifier, where they got knocked out by PSG. It's just night and day. Going into the game probably with the expectation from the fans to win the game, but that's one thing. To actually go out, put in that performance, a real team performance. Really struggled to pick a player of the match. There were so many good performances, and then to get the result over the line, it's just everything that you wish for, and everyone there is getting their just rewards, and it's lovely to see it on screen. People are so delighted, so pleased. Well done, everybody involved.
Aoife, Glenn, thank you very much indeed. I'm just going to leave this with some of the comments from you guys, because the chat have been absolutely brilliant tonight. Thank you so much for all of your effort. Jonathan says, love Aoife. She's the perfect addition to these games. Massive results, says JPS. Well played, ladies. Jeff says, absolutely love this team. JLL says, come on you girls. Gaston says, Manchester is red. Blazing Zari says, great result. Will Rouse says, woohoo, back to work now. Yeah, good luck. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't get sacked, Will. Thank you very much. Thomas says, brilliant win. Stuart says, get in Manchester United women's team. That's an absolutely brilliant job. Third in the Champions League group phase table. 3 wins from 3 for Manchester United's women's side. Only Barcelona and Olympique Lyonnais above them. What a fantastic start to the Champions League season it's been. We'll be back with coverage of Manchester United women against City from the Joy Stadium at the weekend. Really looking forward to that one. But you can get reaction to this game on the Manchester United official app and the website. Zara will be speaking to as many people as she can get hold of as we go through the end of that. Thank you so much for joining us on this watch along. We'll see you for another one of these against Wolfsburg next week. In the meantime, have a lovely evening. We'll see you soon.